a little look, we want to just highlight some of the incredible deals that we've got for you. Over on that table over there, what we've got is an entire table full of buy one, get one free. But it's not just a buy one, get one free. It's a mix and match buy one, get one absolutely free. Choose any two that you want. Could be two of the same, but it could be two completely different ones. We've got Rudbeckia on the end. We've got delphinium. We've got our 3 gorgeous ferns there. And there is also an offer that foxglove is included in there as well. We just couldn't fit it on the table. So it's a mix and match, buy one, get one free. Choose any two that you want to get. Make sure you use the code YGTV 3124. That's how you get the freebie. We've got our oleanders back, best ever price. It's half price for one at £14.99, or if you want to go for two, it's just £19.99, £10 each. Best ever price on our spiral patio olive trees as well.
They're gorgeous.
I love them.
Stunning.
I've always wanted some olive trees.
They're so
really
different,
pretty, aren't they?
You know, you were just saying just now about things flowering all the time. My friend Helen sent me a picture a couple of days ago of loads of daffodils in full flower.
What?
She's in Brisbane, in Australia.
Ah!
Yeah, and she said it's totally done her head in to see daffodils in full flower in July.
In July?
Yeah.
But it would be out there, I guess, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It's their spring, I suppose.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Weird.
Wow. What we've also got over on that table, okay, so some of our £4.99 deals are over there. Oh, sorry, in front of me, apologies. Sorry, Stu. In front of me here, we've kept some of our £4.99 deals. So £4.99 for the baby buddleia. Also £4.99 for one of the Euphorbia minus merlot. But don't buy one of the Euphorbias minus merlot because we've got a great deal on 3 of them. $6.99. Yeah, price for one is £4.99. But if you put 3 in your basket, or is it a separate item? Separate item number, you can get 3 of these for £9.99. £3.33 each. That's great, right?
How's your one doing now, finally?
Oh, it's looking great. Oh,
good.
Yeah, it's come back.
Fantastic.
Honestly, I thought I'd killed it. I told you, didn't I?
Again, really healthy.
But Euphorbias are fantastic because they just really are so resilient and tough. It went floppy for a little while and now it's looking amazing.
Good.
Even giving me a few flowers.
Brilliant.
It'll look great next year as well. So these are fantastic deals, but let's go over to the favourites table. Everything bar the tayberry on this table is under £10. You can get a tayberry for under 10, but we're going to recommend you go for the triple pack, which is a little bit more. But we are talking about amazing deals under £10 on this table. Should we start at the Bowls Mauve, Stu? You want to start with the Salvia? Is that because you went to your friend's house and filmed some Salvia? No, it's because they're £4.97 for 3 of them. Absolutely, yeah. Let's start with the Salvia Lips collection. Now, it's 3 different colours that you're getting included in here. A gorgeous amethyst, the cherry, and the hot lips included as well. You were saying this morning that Salvia is one of your favourites. You really love Salvia.
Yeah, I love these because these just grow in really punishing situations. If you've got a really hot, dry situation, if you've got really poor soil, sandy soil, gravelly, stony soil, the other things struggling, Salvias, they just thrive in soil like that. They're kind of from the Mediterranean kind of area, so they like that hot, dry, sunny kind of position. And I like the fact you've got 3 fabulous colour mixes on there as well, especially the hot lips one with this sort of the white and the red. Yeah, that's sort of the classic one. That was probably the first one that most people sort of got to see.
Yeah, it's that lovely bi-colour bloom you get on there. That's really pretty, isn't it?
And now they're bringing kind of more and more in. And I'll tell you what, Bex, just scrunch the foliage a bit and then smell your fingers, because it actually has quite nice aromatic foliage as well.
Oh, it does. That smells...
It's nice, isn't it? It's really nice kind of...
Do you know what? It's almost mint.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's got a slight...
Well, if you think this is the same, well, it's Salvia family, it's the same family as sage, so it's kind of a, yeah, so I guess that's kind of a sort
definitely
of
a herby.
Yeah, a sagey kind of smell, if you like.
It's lovely. Let's have a look at the roots.
But
Let's get Adam excited, shall we? Let's get Adam all excited.
If we can get it out of the pot.
Oh, rooty beauty.
As
right
always.
There. Yeah, I mean, these are well established, aren't they?
Yeah,
these are going to look amazing.
Always the same, never
They don't
disappointed.
get massive though either, do they?
No, they don't. In fact, I mean, these might get about 2 or 3 foot tall, but I've actually seen some people clip them into a hedge.
Yeah.
Make almost like a little hedge. So if you, say, wanted an alternative to a lavender hedge, you could use these, and they grow in exactly the same sort of position as lavender, but they just flower their socks off for month after month after month. In fact, yeah, these will flower up to October, even November.
Yeah, this is what I love about them, actually, because they are one of those transitional plants that I often talk about, the ones that just extend that flowering season just for that little bit longer, keeping those flowers going when a lot of the summer flowers have disappeared.
And the bees, the bees and the pollinating insects love them as well, and there's no deadheading involved. I mean, you just plant these, you let them grow, you enjoy them. And what we tend to do is just leave them through the winter. Don't trim them back before the winter. Just leave them through the winter, because the top growth protects the plant further down. And then in the spring, once you start to see new growth emerging from lower down,
then start trimming.
Yeah, just get your little shears or your secateurs, trim down to those shoots. They'll come back and they'll do that all over again, and they go on for years and years and years if you look after them.
They're quite a long-lived perennial, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, really, really tough. As long as they're in that nice, hot, sunny, well-drained position, that's where they'll do really, really well. They really, really hate heavy, wet soils. That's what they don't like. But if you've got them in a nice, full sun, well-drained position, that's where they do fantastically well. They're good for pots as well, by the way. And they're great for pots because if, for instance, you forget to water that pot for a little while, these are not going to perish that quickly. They might wilt a little bit, but they're not going to die overnight. So, they will take a little bit of neglect, even if you don't get around to watering them regularly. And then when you do give them a drink, they'll just perk up and they'll keep going. But I just like them. Well, I mean, look at that, Tony's garden there. They look absolutely spectacular there. And I like the way they almost remind me a little bit of the Verbena bonariensis kind of habit, and that they've got these open flower stems where you can see through them, and they kind of share the space with other things. They're not a plant that will just dominate everything else and take it over. They actually kind of share the space, and you can see other plants through them, rather than, I mean, you've got the crocosmia you can see there, for example, sort of coming up to the middle. You've got some grasses coming up to the middle there as well. So really easy plants to grow, and these will have our lifetime guarantee as well. These will have well, I'm putting my neck out on the line. I'm pretty damn sure they'll have the winter hardiness guarantee.
You're looking for the little snowflake symbol when you go into the product page. So the item code here is 560668. If you go into the YouGarden website, put that item code into the little search bar. When you go into the web page, if there is a snowflake symbol at the top of the page that says winter hardy, it has that lifetime guarantee. So if it dies at any point, we will replace it for you free of charge. Just let our customer services department know. All you have to do is cover any postage to get that out to you. This is our deal of the week. It is only £4.97, and you're going to get all three of those. And of course, if you are a club member as well, because we have that fantastic discount club, it will be £4.47, 10% discount.
Because I've not done the shows for you. £4.97.
£4.97
for three.
For three.
All three.
Yeah, all three.
Oh, well, that's stupid. I mean, it is because
Ryan.
Yeah, but again, it's like I say, you'd see these in a garden centre in a 2-litre pot for £5-6.99 each for one plant.
Yes,
that's crazy value.
Yeah, and even for that, so at £4.97 you'll get that, but you'll also get your free gift, your Nautia, Macedonia, the melton pastels included too. This could be the item. Do you know what? If you just ordered this, got your free gift, the Nautia melton pastels, you'll be paying £6.99 postage, but you're going to get 4 of those 9-centimetre plants. That is absolutely incredible, honestly. But this could be the item that tips you over that £40 mark to get you that free postage. So rather than paying £6.99 postage, pay £4.97 and get 3 more plants and not pay that postage at all. We're going to move on because that's just going to keep going. That's going to absolutely fly. That's our plant of the week. Definitely get hold of that one.
Just very quick, the Nautia would love growing in exactly the same position
as
Salvia as well. Yeah, so you can grow those side by side.
That would be gorgeous, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no problem at all.
If you want to place multiple orders and get more of those Nautia as well, that's a really good way of getting loads of your free gift. Honestly, this table is filled with some stonking deals. I'm going to use that word. It's one of Adam's favourites and I like it. Rudbeckia is the next one. Okay, so you are going to get... So we've got a couple of options. We've got another Rudbeckia over there. We've got a 2-litre over there. And that is in the buy one, get one free. So if you want one slightly more established, by all means, you could go for the 2-litre plants for £9.99. However, this is $6.99 for 3 9-centimetre pots. So it really depends on the space you're putting it in your garden. Maybe it's budget. I don't know. They're both pretty decent prices, aren't they?
It's stunning.
It's up to you. You might want to go for the 2 litres and the 9 centimetres. Again, it's your choice. But Rudbeckia goldsturm, mine is and I should have done a video this morning. I'm so sorry. I might do a video. In the next couple of days because I'm back on Sunday. My Rudbeckia is looking amazing. The buds are there. They've just started opening. It's incredible right now.
I can't believe you just said that because I was just about to call myself an idiot.
For not filming yours?
Yeah, because again, On the right-hand side of my patio, I've got a huge clump of these, and like yours, they're just starting to unfurl. And the flowers actually look a little bit strange when they first come out. They look a bit spidery. And I mean, you could almost be forgiven for thinking there was something wrong with the flower when they come out initially. But then, within a few days, as that flower matures, they come out into these huge daisy flowers. And the ones I've got were 3 plug plants,
right,
supplied by the same company but in a previous life, and I took those home as samples after the show and planted them the year before last. Bex, they have gone berserk. They've now, they've now filled an area probably half the size of this desk in front of us, and they're just starting to flower now. There's a few flowers that are fully open. Buds, 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 all the way down. And I know, I mean, last year they flowered all the way right up until September, October. And I never really liked yellow flowers in the garden. I was never a fan of yellow flowers until Rudbeckia goldsturm came along, and I absolutely adore them.
I do as well. I think they're really pretty. I've only got one actually in my garden. I don't know why I only ended up with one. I think it might have been a mixed pack of perennials or something or other, but I've just got the one that I planted last year. First year I got good, it was 12 or 15 flowers. I counted the buds on it just the other day, and there's 21 buds on it this year. So that's last year's. Oh, it looks so much better this year, Stu. I promise I'll get you a picture so you can show it. So that was it last year, looking beautiful. 12 or 15 flowers I counted. They're quite long lasting as well.
Yeah, they last ages, the flowers.
And as I say, this year it's multiplied. I've got 21 buds on there, and it's looking brilliant. It's one of those later flowering ones. So as we're all trying to do, we're trying to get as much colour into our garden for as long as we possibly can. This is a slightly later flowering one. 560076 is the item number. My word, a £22.98 saving on that one. £6.99 for all three, £6.29 if you are in the club. Another one of my favourites. It's such a good show today. Go on.
Well, we could tell that because we need to see the same picture, because I noticed just to the left of your Rudbeckia.
That's where the Eurasian Bowls mauve is. I'll see if I can find my email, because I did send a picture. Yeah, just to the left there, aren't they?
Just see a little bit of Bowls mauve there. Yeah, that's a better one. Look.
That's it, and it looks wonderful planted next to each other as well.
They're good colour mix, aren't they? Yellow and purple.
Gorgeous colour mix. Yeah, Bowls mauve is absolutely one of the favourite plants. It really is amazing. Flowers for a good 9-10 months of the year. It's incredible, isn't it?
It's insane. I mean, Bowls mauve, I don't know how the plant keeps going. I mean, I look after a show garden at a place called St Neots. It's near Cambridgeshire, and in the show garden there, they've got a line of these Eurasian Bowls mauve, and do you know what? In the last year, even in winter, I've been going there and there's still odd flowers. Yeah. Even in the winter time. It just keeps going. It's an insane perennial. I've
started taking a picture of mine every month of the year, and I've got some that I sent via email recently. So this one was my Bowls mauve taken in about, you can see, because the tulips are just starting to come out. So that was about April time I took that picture. And then we go to May. The tulips have gone over, look.
Deadheaded, yeah.
So tulips have been in bud, they've gone, and now they've been deadheaded. Bowls mauve is still looking fantastic.
Like it's not changed one iota.
Then we're into June.
Look at this. This is insane.
Look at the alliums in the background, by the way. Because see, look, alliums are looking in full flower. Go to the next picture. Alliums have gone over. Bowls mauve is still doing its
lilies
thing.
Are coming. You've got your lilies coming up now.
Lilies are starting to come up. Yeah, that's the last picture I've got for you, I'm afraid. But just to give you some idea of how amazing Bowls mauve is, if you don't know already, it's one of my total favourites. You get loads of flowers for a good 9 months of the year, and every month of the year I actually had flowers on mine. Admittedly, in December it was only like one flower spike, but there was flowers. But it's evergreen as well.
And I know, sometimes it sounds like we're over-egging things, but honestly, I can swear to you, just as the ones Bex was seeing in her own garden, these ones I was seeing in the show house garden. I started visiting this show house in March or April last year. And I go every month, I go fortnightly and then monthly through the winter. But every time I've gone there, that Bowls mauve has always had some flower on it. And the other day, they got to the point where there was just a few flowers left on the top. So I sort of clipped them off. But at the base, just like on these ones, there's already more little side shoots coming with more flower buds on. So it's one of the most long flowering perennials that you can grow in the garden. It's that lovely, gorgeous, soft mauve colour, purpley mauve colour. They're nice, well-behaved plants. They form a nice sort of dome shape of flower. They've got a very soft fragrance. You have to get your nose right down to get the fragrance, but they're just absolutely beautiful, beautiful plants.
So Amanda's in the chat on Facebook. She was asking if we can propagate from it. Can we take cuttings and propagate?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, quite easy to take cuttings off of that as well. So just try and find a little side shoot without a flower bud on it.
A bit like you would with lavender?
Yeah, a bit
so
lavender.
Like one of these maybe?
Yeah, you could.
Do you want the woody part like you would with lavender?
Well, what I would do, I would take that off and I would go up to sort of just sort of a semi-ripe part of the stem where it's
slightly
just,
green about here.
And then just take off some lower leaves, sort of clip below a leaf joint, and then just actually dip that cutting into some really nice sandy, gritty compost at the edge of the pot. Keep it moist, keep it sort of bright and quite humid, and they root quite easily.
I might try that. All right, reminder of the Salvia lips. So don't forget your bowls mauve, but reminder of that Salvia lips. It is the deal of the week. It is only £4.97. All three of those included. You don't have to pick one. You will get all three of those for £4.97. £4.47 if you are in the club. We've brought back our gerbera a deal for you. This is still a buy one get one free, right? So no, apologies. £9.99 for three of these. So we have halved the price on here. It was £19.99. We've taken £10 off. It is now £9.99. And you are going to get the three glorious colours. That beautiful bright pink, that gorgeous scarlet red there, and my favourite, I can't deny it, that bi-coloured bloom, the blaze, that one's called. You're going to get all three of those, £9.99, £3.33 each, or £8.99 if you are in the club.
The colour mix on that, Bex, I mean, that pink one is just blancmange. I mean, it's a blancmange pink. I absolutely adore that one. It is such a pure, solid blancmange pink. Oh, I used to hate blancmange because it always had that skin on the top. And kind of, yeah, it wasn't my favourite thing. But I mean, the blancmange cut. Look, I mean, come on, look at that flower. That is so stunning. But what's really funny is, I mean, I've been gardening professionally for sort of 37, 38 years, and if 25 years ago somebody said to me, Adam, you can plant gerberas outside in the garden. I'd be like, yeah, right.
Yeah, all right.
Don't think so. They're not hardy. These are hardy gerberas. That's what's so amazing about them. So these will come back year after year. You can grow these outside. They're no longer just a house plant or a cut flower. You can grow these outside. I've heard reports of up to sort of 50 flowers per plant
once it gets established.
Once they become established.
Yeah.
And sometimes flowers, 5 centimetres across. Really big flowers on these. But of course, you could cut some and take them indoors. They do make long-lasting cut flowers. They've got lovely, interesting leaves, almost what I generally describe as like dandelion kind of shaped leaves.
They are a bit,
actually.
aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. But these are absolutely stunning. Put them in the garden somewhere nice and sunny, well drained, fabulous for pots, troughs. You can even grow them in hanging baskets. My mum had some in a trough on her living room windowsill that look fantastic. They'll come back year after year. They'll give you more flowers as the years go by, and they're just beautiful, stunning.
Yeah. I want to go to the iPad if we can, because Elaine, good morning to you. Thank you very much for your pictures. She has just sent us a gorgeous picture of her Rudbeckia. I know she sent us this picture last week as well, I think, and there was just a couple of one of the flowers just starting to open. This is a progress picture, and you can see those bright yellow colours coming through. And look how many buds are in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20. I've got 23. I don't know. I counted very quickly, but there's 23 buds and flowers on there.
Yeah, I mean, they are one
pretty.
of those. Yeah, and they're one of those perennial specs, and they will just flower for so long. And each flower lasts. Well, I've known a flower for last a good couple of 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, they can.
And coneflower is their common name as well. They actually originate from North America, so you can imagine they're very tough. They're very hardy. They'll get through most British winters. What I tend to do with mine is I leave them right the way till kind of the end of autumn, and then once the stems have really sort of start to die back and stuff, I just trim those stems down to about 2 or 3 inches. They sit quietly underground throughout the winter time, and then sort of late winter, early spring, you'll start to see the little shoots come back up, and they'll just come back for you year after year after year. Really reliable, long flowering season, loved by the pollinating insects, easy to grow, a real charming, gorgeous perennial.
She sent another picture to us and said this is her other one. So you can see the other one that she's got in the border there, and it's just next to the geranium roseanne, which I think is brilliant because that yellow and that purple colour mixed together looks absolutely gorgeous. Are you there, Stu? Are you going to put the picture up for me? Sorry, just checking. Yeah, the gorgeous colour mix. I think there's a couple of lilies in there as well. But once that comes into flower against, it is a geranium Roseanne, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say that's Roseanne. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the other one. Loads of flower buds on there as well. So thank you so much, Elaine, for sending in those pictures. Do remember we've got that deal on the Rudbeckia, 3 9cm pots for £6.99. You can get a gorgeous display in your garden, just like Elaine.
And mine are about, they're in their 2nd or 3rd year now. Mine are about sort of waist height as well now. So
are they?
Yeah, mine are quite tall.
Ooh, mine aren't there. Oh, have you got the other variety? Because there's the shorter variety and then the slightly taller variety.
Oh, I might have the taller one. But yeah, they're great because they kind of self-support each other. They've got nice, strong, rigid stems as well, so they don't all flop over,
no, they're
which is
great,
good.
Aren't they?
Yeah, brilliant.
Elaine's asking what variety of cordyline this is. I'm not sure if I can answer it. Do you know off the top of your head?
I wouldn't know. Yeah, I couldn't say exactly. I mean, it's
I'd have to go back and look.
I mean, it is just one of the red cordylines.
Could be red star, maybe. I don't know. Has it got a bit more colour? Is it a bit darker? I'd have to go and have a little look, Elaine. So I'll try and remember to do that for you.
There's so many these days.
Well, she said, what cordyline is this? Bought it... Oh, I knocked my mic, sorry. Bought it 4 years ago. Elaine, I'm assuming you bought it from YouGarden? Let me know. If you bought it from YouGarden, we might be able to have a little look through the list and see if we can find which one it is for you. All right. What did you say, Stu? New name in the chat? Alistair? Good morning, Alistair. Nice to have your company. Thank you very much. Oh, here we go, yes. Niels, good morning. He's in the chat now as well. Alistair, good morning. Elaine, you are there, as always, reliably. Thank you so much. Roger and Amanda and Anne, I know you're all watching on Facebook. Stu is going to keep an eye on those messages and comments as well. Email addresses at the bottom of the screen. If you do want to send through any pictures, we'll try and show them for you. There are a few more in there as well, so we'll come back to the emails very soon. Next, we want to talk about tayberry. Now, this is a lovely take on a grow your own, isn't it, that you might not already have, and I love the idea of being able to grow your own tayberry because you can't really buy them anywhere, can you?
No, you can't. And in fact, is it a raspberry? No. Is it a blackberry? No. Actually, it's both. It's a cross between a raspberry and a blackberry. And the whole idea of tayberries is that blackberries can be, sort of quite large fruit, but sometimes they can be a bit sour.
Yes.
And raspberries are smaller fruit, but they can be quite sweet. So across the two, you end up with big fruit that are really sweet. And oh dear, when you try tayberries that are fully ripe, they really are sublime. They're one of the most delicious soft fruit you can eat. Very easy to grow. Grow them in a sort of a bright full sun position. You just need something to train them up against. It could be some trellis, it could be some wires, it could be up against a garage wall, just somewhere where you can support them.
Tayberries, are these the ones that grow on the previous year's fruit, previous year's canes? So love what you were saying about this. So it's a good way. So if you do them to the left and to the right, you always know which one you're supposed to be pruning, don't you? Because
exactly. So
one will be this year's growth, one will be last year's growth.
Yeah. So this one here, say let's put this one at the front. This one at the front, so you can see. This one at the front has got sort of one kind of main stem on it at the moment. So when you plant that, I would actually just say, if you wanted to, tie that into the right, that stem. So you tie that stem into the right. That sort of really brown woody one you could probably remove because that's an old stem, so that one could go. So tie this one into the right, and this one will probably produce fruit for you. It might produce fruit this year, but probably next year now, to be honest, because it's already fruiting at the moment. So this will fruit for you next year, this stem. But what you'll find is you'll get new shoots come up from the base. Tie those new shoots to the left because they'll be your fruiting stems for 2026. And then when this one has finished fruiting next year, you'll cut that one off, and then the stems that come in 2026 you'll do to the right, and you just keep, and that way.
So just keep alternating. Each year you'll know, okay, so it was left last time, so it's going to be right this time, and that's the one I'm going to put. It's super easy, and I love that as a top tip, to make sure you know exactly what you're doing.
It'll just keep that new wood to one side, the older wood to one side, so you always know which wood is going to fruit for you which year.
Yeah, love it. Okay, now we've got an amazing deal on this one for you. So you can get one of these for £9.99 if you want to. And look, if you want to go for one, absolutely fine. However, there is better value if you're going to multi-order on these. If you put 3 into your basket, use our offer code first though, look, YGTV3124. Put that one in, you can see that the free gift has appeared, the Nautia Macedonica Melton Pastels. We've added 2 into our baskets, £19.98, but look what happens. when we add the third one in. The third one just cost a penny. So it's basically a buy two, get one free is ultimately what we're trying to tell you here. It's incredible, honestly. They break down to £6.66 each. It's a £35 saving because your free gift is in there as well. It's brilliant, honestly. I love the idea of growing tayberries. It's not one I've got yet, but I will add it into my garden at some point. Do add in that Salvia lips collection as well. £4.97. Our deal of the week here, it should be $7.99 per plant. All three of them for £4.97. So that one is one that cannot be missed. You can find a space for those. Even if, do you know what? You think, okay, I haven't got any space in my borders. I don't know where I'm going to do with them. Get them. Put them in a pot. You know you've got a spare pot sitting around the side of the house, behind the greenhouse and in the back of the shed. Get that pot out, plant those into those pots. Leave them in there for the time being. You'll find a space for them.
Yeah, and even if they dry out in those pots, they'll be fine because they don't mind being on the dry side. They're a Mediterranean kind of plant, so they're really happy being in a sort of hot, dry position. And yeah, and like Beck says, they'll be happy in a pot. You can just enjoy the flowers for the rest of the summer, and then come the autumn, when you're starting to trim things back and stuff.
Yeah, then you can find your space for it and plant them.
You might have some annuals that you can sort of oik out because they're not going to come back.
Don't miss out on that one. That one's such a stonking deal. Tayberries, obviously, 310062 is the item number. One for $9.99, or you can get three for $19.99. It's a buy two, get one absolutely free, basically, is what we're selling there. Near us. It's a penny, basically. Eleanor's just joined the chat. Hello. And Angela has just joined the chat as well. Good morning to you all. Thank you for your company. We're here till 1 o'clock. Myself and Adam, we're going to head over now to our Euphorbia minus merlot. A plant that I adore, but Adam, our award-winning gardener, I know that you are a big fan of planting euphorbias.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, euphorbias come in such a sort of fantastic range of colours. My other half, John, actually ordered mine as merlot from YouGarden earlier in the year. We've got them in the front garden. They've grown like crazy this year.
Yeah, they love it, don't they?
They look so amazing. And the good thing about euphorbias, they come in such a range of colours. I mean, I've seen euphorbias with orange, with red, with sort of green, all sorts of coloured flowers. But this one is multifaceted because firstly you've got that fabulous red stem, which is absolutely glorious. Red stem and red flower stalks. Then these lovely kind of dark green leaves. And then these...
Yeah, but those leaves do turn into this gorgeous colour that you see here as well. It's sort of a dark green, but then they have this kind of purpley burgundy tinge to them.
That's it. They kind of... So they will kind of change colour. They're almost like chameleon-like, really. So look at this one. You can see the example. Whoa! This one up here, you can see how the
how
older
it changes
leaves,
that foliage colour.
The older leaves are sort of the green colour, and the new leaves are that lovely sort of bronzy kind of reddish colour, which is absolutely amazing. So you're even getting colour from foliage on these, which is fabulous. And then look at these gorgeous flowers. I mean, these sort of lime green flowers. And they're a little bit deceiving, really, because the true flower...
Yeah, it's right in the middle,
isn't it? Bang in the middle. These, on the outside, these are known as bracts, B-R-A-C-T-S, bracts. They're a type of modified leaf that takes on an appearance of a petal. And it really is fabulous, because it makes the whole thing like one big flower. And Euphorbia are really drought-tolerant. They're very hardy. They'll take full sun. They're just such tough plants.
Well, they're so tough. There's mine earlier on in the year when it should still be in flower now, but I moved it stupidly. But that is how it looked earlier, and it was so fantastic. It's one of my favourite plants in my garden. The colour of those flowers against the foliage is incredible. It brings loads of ladybirds in as well. I never knew that before until I planted it. The ladybirds seem to adore Euphorbia, and it's great to invite those ladybirds into the garden because they'll eat all the nasty aphids and things that destroy your tomato crops. So it's a brilliant one for that reason. And they are so tough, so resilient. My own experience is this. I needed to move my Euphorbia, and I stupidly did it at the point when it was in full flower. So all of its energy is going, yeah, I'm producing all these flowers, yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm going to move you. So I dug it up and I planted it only about 50 centimetres to the left, but that's what I needed to do. It went, ugh. It wasn't happy at all. All the stems went droopy. I was like, oh God, I think I might have killed it. I cut all the flowers off, I watered it in, just thought, okay, it is back bigger and better than ever. It's even started to throw up some flowers for me now. So these really are so tough, so resilient. They'll even take moving in full flower. Although, not that I recommend it. Don't do it.
No.
Do as I say, not as I do, as my mum used to say.
So every time, Bex. I mean,
hey,
we just have that
beauty.
confidence, don't we? These are such established plants as well. I mean, we're not just sending out things that have been in the pot for 2 or 3 weeks. These have been grown on. These are really nice, rigid, strong, tough plants that you can put out in the garden now. These do great in containers and pots and troughs and places like that as well. Great for full sun or partial sun, somewhere like that. Just easy to grow.
Well, Eleanor has just said in the chat, I didn't think I'd like Miner's Merlot until I bought it, and now I absolutely love it. I'm buying 3 more because I have a gap. And you know what? I think there are certain plants that, if you see them in garden centres or whatever, you kind of walk past them, you go, meh, meh. And I think this is potentially one that you can easily just walk past until you get it and plant it and realise how amazing it is. It's one of those ones you need in your garden to really understand its true value. Yeah,
and that's true of quite a number of plants. People don't always give them credit. I mean, there's one Tayberries that I've always been banging on about. That sort of it finally got recognised at Chelsea this year as being a really lovely plant. And
is it the purple eye?
That's it. Yeah. And Euphorbias can be the same, and they're evergreen as well, so they look as good in the winter as they do in the summertime.
Adam keeps trying to tell me the virtues of Euonymus. I could see it. I could see it cross his mind as he was saying this story. It's not my favourite plant, but Adam always tries to sell the virtues of Euonymus to me.
I'll tell you what, though, if you had Euonymus emerald and gold planted underneath this with that lovely brown foliage on top, that would be...
Sometimes it is just the planting combination that you need to see in order to fall in love with something,
One thing brings another out. That's the thing. You can contrast on these as well. But you can see the picture there on your screen of just how stunning that new foliage is when it comes out. And that's true of a lot of plants. You find with a lot of plants, the juvenile foliage always has the kind of the most fantastic colour. We'll be talking about a Photinia later on that has brilliant red leaves as new foliage, and then as the foliage matures it goes down to that sort of more greenish colour, but the stem always remains that nice sort of reddy brown colour as well. And these are long-lived plants. They'll come back year after year after year. Just one little tiny thing: when you do deadhead them, just wear gloves. Don't get the sap on your skin, because it can be a bit what's the word? Irritating. Yeah. So
particularly if you're sensitive to stuff like that.
So just wear gloves when you deadhead. But other than that, this is a plant just to sit back and enjoy.
All right, so Euphorbia Miner's Merlot, 3 9-centimetre pots. They are £9.99 for all 3 of those. Big saving there as well. Good morning to Neil, who says he's a bit late to the party. Doesn't matter, you're here now. Thank you very much. Good morning to Andy as well, who's just joined the chat. Eleanor, who was saying that she's going to get 3 more of these. Elaine, you're not feeling very well. I'm so sorry to hear that, but hopefully we can cheer you up a little bit. Oh, but apparently Neil's cat is better. Rocky is home, which is brilliant. Oh, is it? Sorry. I've got my cat Rocky back home. I'm so pleased about that.
That's good.
Done. Right, shall we move on? I'm going to do some more pictures in a little while.
I'm going to have to follow you, Bex, because I've actually lost my talk bag.
Have you lost the talk bag?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah,
all right, I need the Rudbeckia picture because they didn't send me 2. So let's take this one over and we're going to go and have a look at our buy one get one free table next, Adam. We did miss out the baby buddleia over there as well, by the way. So make sure we're going to come back to that one. It's the baby buddleia, the little ruby one. It's £4.99. If you go to the website, by the way, anybody who's new, hello to you. If you go to YouGarden.com and you click on that little box there, look, it says live now. Do a little click onto that. If you're on a phone, by the way, it might be in the bottom corner. But look for that little symbol. Click on there. That's where obviously you watch the live shows on the YouGarden website. Oh my word, we're in HD. Oh, that's slightly worrying. If you scroll down, though, you can see all of the plants that we have selected for our show this week. There are thousands of plants, of products and things on the website. These are just the ones that we have selected for our show. So you can get ahead of us, you can have a little look. If there's anything you want to see, you can say it in the chat, you can email us and we'll bring it forward. Little tip, though, if you put our code, if you go and create a basket and you put our code in first, you will be able to see our prices. If you don't put the code in first, you'll see the full prices. Stu's going to show you, so he's going to show you the difference that it makes. And I think the best thing is to put the code in first so you can actually see the prices that you will be paying. So if we go to the website and we look at Salvia lips for an example, £14.97. That's not what we were saying, was it? we were saying £4.97. So go into your basket, put anything in there, whether you're going to buy it or not, just put something in the basket for the time being. Enter the code YGTV3124. And then go back to the Live Now bit. Now scroll down. Look, can you see the prices have come down? So these are the prices that you will pay at YGTV. So that's a great way of being able to see the full value. Oh my word, yes, Stu, that classic ground cover rose collection. 3 varieties in there. I mean, they are smaller roses, but you get loads of them, so it doesn't matter. And these are great because they're lower growing. You get the red, the white, the pink. It's £7.49 for all 3 of those. So that is incredible. This is why you need to be watching. You need to stay, if you can, for as long as you can, stay watching, because this is how you learn about all of these fantastic deals. Now, everything that we've got on this table here is part of our buy one, get one free. We've also got the, what's the other one? Foxglove, thank you, Stu. We've also got the foxglove included in the buy one, get one free. We just couldn't fit it on the table, so that one's included. Now, it's not a buy one, get one of the same item. You can mix and match. If you want 2 Rudbeckias, not a problem. Get 2, put 2 in your basket, enter the code, one of them will be free. But if you want a Rudbeckia and a gorgeous delphinium, put both of those in your basket, enter the code, one of them will be free. Are they all the same price, Stu? $9.99. So it's not a case of the cheapest one is free. One of them will be free, and it will be any one of them, because they are all the same price. We're going to start off with that Rudbeckia. We talked about Rudbeckia over there, didn't we? Have you fixed it?
I'm all fixed.
He's all fixed. He can come back in. Can you hear Stu again now, so hear his dulcet tones? Right, so we talked about Rudbeckia over there, and that was available in the 3 9-centimetre pots. This is a bigger, slightly more established one in the 2-litre pot.
Yeah, and look, flower buds on that one as well. That's already got. In fact, that's already been Chelsea chopped this year.
It's been chopped. You can see where it's been chopped.
So that could have been what we call Chelsea chop, which is around about sort of late May time. You can cut some perennials back if they've already flowered, or if you don't want them to be as tall eventually, and then they reshoot and they bring you more flower buds. But the good thing is, it's the 1st of August today. That's not a good thing, but it just is. Can't help that. But the good thing is, look, 1st of August, this plant, this Rudbeckia, is only just starting to come into flower. So, that means right the way through August into September, even October, you're going to get these fabulous, deep, sort of yellowy orange flowers with that sort of button, that cone shape in the middle, hence the cone flower. These are tough, these are robust. These almost emit their own light source. They're so bright and cheery and uplifting on lovely rigid stems. They've got quite squarish kind of rigid stems that pretty much sort of self-support. Put them somewhere nice and open and bright and sunny. They originate from North America, so they're sort of like almost like a plant that grows out in sort of like prairie kind of areas, or sort of nice open sunny areas. So they'll just come back year after year after year. And I found with mine is they kind of spread. They almost like send little runners out under the ground, and gradually one plant will gradually sort of colonise a space, and it will just give you such a joyful, what's the word? An explosion of yellow flowers for such a long period of time.
It is an absolute explosion, and it's such a reliable plant. I know you were saying you trimmed yours down. I don't think I did anything to mine last year. I think I just let it. I just think I let it go. I don't think I trimmed it to let it go. I don't think I trimmed it at all. I just let it die back down on its own, and it's come back bigger and better this year. Yeah, I will trim it this year.
You don't have to, because chances are most of those sticks sort of just died down and disintegrate through the winter anyway. So
I just let it do its thing, to be honest.
And in the wild, nobody clips things back in the wild, do they? They'll die back down into the ground, and the new shoots come up through, and nature carries on doing what nature does.
I love it, honestly, and it is one of those slightly later flowering plants as well. So it's great if you're trying to, fill your garden with as much colour for as long as possible. This is going to do it. I mean, mine went right through into September, towards the end of September, and I think into October as well, because we had such a mild year. Yeah. And that's becoming a trend. October does tend to be quite a mild month, and has been for several years now.
We're kind of getting back-ended summers now, aren't we? I mean, like at the moment, it's only just the end of July. Summer's actually really kicked in, isn't it, recently? So, my gut feeling is I think probably August, September, October are going to be predominantly much sunnier, drier, sort of warmer months than what we've had previously. And if that's going to become a trend, and we can enjoy our gardens a little later into the year than we used to be able to, it's good, isn't it, to have plants that are going to give you colour and flower at that time.
Absolutely. So remember, this is part of the buy one, get one free. Any one of these you can add in along with the foxglove that's available as well. All of them are 2 litre, all of them are $9.99, and it's a mix and match buy one, get one free. If you want 2 of the same, by all means, put 2 of the same into your basket, enter the code, 1 of them will be free. But if you want 2 different ones, or 4 different ones, or 6 different ones, because there's 6 in the offer, you can add them all into your basket, and then 3 of them will be free. They should all be £15. They should all be $14.99, and you're getting 2 for $9.99. Crazy deals. Right, delphiniums. And unfortunately, I think the slugs and the snails must have had mine this year because none of them have come up for me. I clearly did not do enough strulching, so I'll fix that problem for next year. But delphiniums is one of my favourite flowers. I think they are beautiful. Look at that.
And by the way, I lost mine for the same reason this year.
Did you?
Yeah, I had a blue one, and they just kept munching it off, and it didn't get a chance to come up. So
I wonder if it might come back next year if I look after it.
Possibly. But I mean, it's just been so wet this year, isn't it? But you know what? Ordinarily, delphiniums are just really tough, robust plants. Look at the colour of this one as well. I mean, that is a gorgeous, gorgeous blue, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you really look into the tones of blue and lilac, and I mean, there's so many colours in that flower, isn't there?
Do you think that's almost a little bit mother of pearl, kind of the coloration in that? Because I can almost see some sort of almost little hints of pink in that as well as the blue, and especially because we've got the studio lights sort of in front of us, and they're actually shining back through the flower, so you can see how gorgeous that looks. And I think this is it's secondary flower as well. It's secondary flowering. Because there's another thing delphiniums will do. There was a couple of what I call manky stems at the bottom, 1, 2, 3 stems earlier on that I cut off. They've already flowered. They flowered probably about a month ago. So that was clipped back, and then it sent up another flower shoot to give you a secondary lot of flower.
Yeah, that's the great thing with delphiniums. You can make that happen, can't you?
Yeah, you can get a double flower season out of those delphiniums.
And they are perennial. They will come back for you as long as you give them that slug and snail protection. So don't do what Adam and I have done, which is neglect our delphiniums. Do give them just that extra bit of protection when it comes to making sure the slugs and the snails don't get them. So do grab some strulch. Strulch is fantastic for keeping away the slugs and the snails. If you give it a good layer of strulch, then hopefully you shouldn't have the issue that we had. I didn't strulch mine, that's why they got munched.
Yeah, well, I should have done the same.
Sometimes I do not follow my own advice.
And we have busy lives, haven't we? We have like super busy lives, and sometimes it's just small things. And also, if the snails already munched that delphinium off, you probably didn't notice it was coming up in the first place.
No.
There's nothing there to remind you. But of course, we're sending out plants that are already nice and mature, so they're pretty slug-proof at the moment, so you don't need to worry about that. Just plant delphiniums somewhere really open and sunny. And I always say, don't make them compete too directly with other plants. If you're going to put them in a border, give them a nice bit of space where they can really fill out. And these ones are pretty much self-supporting as well, these delphiniums. They get about 80 to 90 centimetres, these ones, so they should not need staking. OK, lovely. So this is the buy one, get one free table. Over there, we've got the under £10 table, but this one is also the under £10 table, isn't it? Oh, my word. So this is buy one, get one free for under £10, 2 litre pots, any 2. It's a mix and match. It doesn't have to be 2 of the same, but you could get 2 of the same. You could get 4 of the same. You could get 6 of the same if you want to, but half of them will be free, no matter how many of those you buy. All you have to do is enter the offer code when you place your order, YGTV3124. Put 1 Rudbeckia, put 1 delphinium in, enter the code, 1 of them will come off as free. If you put 12 Rudbeckias into your basket, 6 of them will be free as long as you enter that code. And of course, you will still get your free gift, which is the Nautia Macedonica Melton pastels. Free gift, amazing. That sounds like what you take for a cough. I know, it does, doesn't it? Right, so next up, we've also got our ferns. Remember that the foxglove is available in this buy one, get one free as well. So we've got 6 different items. It's the Digitalis Dalmatian that's in the show page if you want to have a look at those. But we've got 3 ferns. We've got the copper shield fern, we've got the hairy lip fern, and we've got the painted lady fern. Now, all of these would be beautiful because you've got different heights, different sizes, different colours. So if you want to create a fern
border, you know, for those shady areas. These would be great, wouldn't they? All
you know
of them.
what? Ferns are divine. I absolutely love ferns. I've got a raised bed in my garden with ferns in, and I've actually got the copper shield fern at the back of this raised bed with hostas in as well, and I've got sort of palms growing up in the middle and some acers at the back.
Oh,
and yeah, they go together so well. And you know, the copper shield fern, you know, this one here is an absolute stunner. You can see why it's called a copper shield fern. It's got those really wiry kind of foliage, but when the new leaves, or croziers as they're called on a fern, come through, they've got that sort of coppery coloration to the leaf. I mean, there's copper, there's reds, there's oranges. Really incredible. In fact, it's a bit of a theme on the show today when we're talking about newly emerging foliage, quite often being different colours to the more mature foliage. We're going to see it on the Photinia. We've seen it on the Miner's Merlot, the Euphorbia. You can see it on this copper shield fern. This is a shade-loving fern, does particularly well in shade. It's got the award of garden merit, the RHS Award of Garden Merit, and only plants that really meet, you know, a huge range of criteria will be given that AGM, that Award of Garden Merit. Gets to about 90 centimetres tall eventually. That will take about sort of 2 to 3 years to really mature into that size. It's semi-evergreen, and what I tend to do with ferns, I mean, I've got loads and loads of different ferns in my garden. In fact, I'll be honest with you, I've got some ferns, I don't even know what their names are. I've lost the label, or sometimes I'll see a fern in a garden centre without a label on it. Oh, what's that? And they say, well, you can have it for...
Plant rescue, love a plant rescue.
And I just love them. But what I tend to do with my ferns at the end of the year, I just leave them. I just leave them to go through the winter. Some will remain quite evergreen or semi-evergreen through the winter. But what you tend to find is at the end of the winter, you start to see that the leaves are a little bit battered from the winter time. So normally myself, mid-March, early April, I'd very carefully cut off the old leaves, and then it allows the new fresh leaves to come through and just keep giving that wonderful display. But yeah, absolutely fabulous fern for a really challenging, shadier area where other things might struggle.
Love it. Remember, it's part of the buy one, get one free mix and match. If you want 2 of those, you can get 2, but if you want 1 of those with something else, you can do that. It's a mix and match buy one, get one free. £9.99 for two plants, and they're all in the 2-litre pots. That one is the copper shield fern. Well, next we have the hairy lip fern. Now, I love these two together. This one gets a bit taller, this one stays a bit shorter. So if you're planting them together, this one would be
go at the front.
In the front.
Yeah, and this one could go at the front because this one is a little bit more sun tolerant. This one will take us some sunshine, but it'll also take shade. And also, unusually for a fern, this is quite a drought tolerant fern as well. You quite often think of ferns, don't you, grown in very moist, damp kind of shady places, but this one, the hairy lip fern, will actually take shade or sun. It will grow in stony, gravelly, sandy kind of soils. The other ferns might struggle a little bit. We were talking about the copper shield fern getting to 90 centimetres tall. This one's about half the height, around about 50 centimetres tall after 2 or 3 years. But look at that foliage. I mean, isn't that absolutely beautiful?
I love it. It feels very Jurassic to me,
that
one.
I mean, I'm just going to tilt this fern forward a bit so you can actually sort of really look into into that foliage there. Isn't that beautiful, the way those sort of croziers, and as they're called, those leaves all come out from the centre? Looks absolutely fabulous there. And it's sort of, you can't really see it on the screen, but in the studio it almost has like a bit of a silvery kind of sheen to it, doesn't it, Bex? When you kind of look at it at certain angles. But look how delicately cut those leaves are.
Copper shield has a kind of shine to it, but this one has a definite more sort of matte finish to it, matte look to it, which is why they work beautifully together, I think, because you've got those different textures and lustres to them.
And you can see as well that one's probably got that more matte kind of look to it and that colour because, again, it's a little bit more sun tolerant, so it's not going to get scorched or really burnt up in the sunshine. So yeah, that's another fantastic fern option for you there as well. And ferns actually become a little bit addictive in the end, because once you've bought 1 or 2 ferns and they start to thrive, you really start to get into ferns, and you can mix them with so many other different plants. They look great with spring bulbs coming up through them.
What was I was reading up on ferns recently, because they're over, I mean, they date back as fossil records and things over 300 million years, but there's something like 10,500 different varieties of ferns in the world, which means that it's an addiction that you'd probably never get to the end of, isn't it? Because there's so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, they grow practically on every continent on Earth, apart from sort of Antarctica. And also, they have a funny way of reproducing, ferns, as well. They're quite akin to humans in the way they reproduce, because ferns don't actually produce seed.
Right.
They produce spores, but what they kind of produce, sort of, if you like, in a simple term, like a male and female spore separately. But they have to actually come and fuse together to create an embryonic new fern.
Wow,
so, and that tends to happen with rain. The rainwater, when you get heavy rain, the spores get sort of splashed about in the rain. If they're lucky, two of those spores come together, as in humans, the sperm and an egg, and then it creates this little baby fern that starts to grow. So they really are quite unusual and different.
I've got another question for you in a second, but let's move on to the final one, which is the painted lady, which I think is probably one of the most beautiful ferns because of the different colours that you get with the painted lady.
Yeah, I mean, this has sort of shimmers of silver and green and purple and red. Again, a very elegant fern. I mean, all ferns are elegant. I mean, the Victorians were obsessed with ferns. They went nuts for ferns. They used to grow ferns indoors, outdoors. They used to dry them. They used to press them. Used to use them for all sorts of things. This one, again, is probably the shortest of the collection. This one's about 40 centimetres tall. And also, this one has the Award of Garden Merit, the RHS Award of Garden Merit.
Isn't this one great for ground cover? Because although it's shorter, it grows wider. It covers a large space, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has sort of like a weeping kind of habit, if you like. So it sort of grows out sideways. Shade loving, this one as well. So we've got this one, the lady painted fern, the copper shield fern, are more shade loving. The hairy lip fern will take more sun. But look at that!
I know, it's beautiful, isn't it?
That almost looks metallic, doesn't it?
Now this one is not evergreen. This one definitely will disappear over winter, but it's worth it. I know, a lot of ferns are evergreen or semi-evergreen. Most of them keep their foliage. This one doesn't, but still get this one because it's amazing because of those colours. Yeah,
and also if you've got other evergreen ferns around it, they'll kind of make up for the fact that this one's died back. And sometimes, I mean, evergreen things are great, but sometimes it's nice when something does die back because then you get that surprise, you get that freshness in the spring that, and sometimes you might almost forget that you've got this painted lady fern, and then you go out in the garden late March, early April, you start to see these little shoots come up. So what's that? It's the painted lady fern.
Sean and I have been talking a lot this last week or so because we've had a few ferns on the YGTV shows, and we were like, but slugs and snails don't seem to eat ferns. Like, they go for hostas and delphiniums and a few other things, but they seem to be really resistant to those pests in the garden. Do you know why?
I don't know.
I'm not trying to trip you up at all,
no,
but because we couldn't answer it.
No, now you say it, I've never ever seen slugs and snails.
No, they don't go for
ferns.
Do you think it's just because they've evolved? They're so old, they've evolved beyond the point where they can get attacked by those pests?
I think it's probably just the texture of ferns, because they're kind of quite fibrous and they're not particularly juicy. Slugs and snails tend to go for quite juicy kind of leaves.
That's why they like the young, fresh growth.
Exactly, that's why they go for things like hostas, for example, and marigolds. But ferns are pretty disease resistant. There's not many things that do affect ferns, and some ferns, for instance, can be toxic. So, like bracken, Pteridinium aquilinum, that is very, very toxic. So there might be a toxicity in these, which is not an issue for us, but would be for sort of plants or animals that want to predate on ferns.
All right, well, it's just an interesting question. If you know the answer, let us know. But this is the buy one, get one free table. These are all in the 2-litre pots. They are all buy one, get one free, but you can mix and match. You don't have to get two of the same. Starting off here with the painted lady fern in the 2-litre pot, just £9.99. Add any other of our buy one, get one free in, and one of them will be free. Of course, if you want two painted ladies, add two into your basket and use the code YGTV3124. Next up, we have the hairy lip fern. This one is the one that is slightly more tolerant to being in a sunny position if you want to, but will happily live in those shady spots as well. All three of the ferns we've got for you will work perfectly together because they're slightly different shapes and sizes, so you can really create a nice full border. 561204 is the item number for the hairy lip fern. Then the other fern was the the copper shield fern. So that one, you get all those gorgeous copper tones, the reds, the bronzes, those sorts of things. 561-200 for that one. Then we had the delphinium, which is just so pretty. The one we've got for you is Magic Fountain. Few people telling us that their delphiniums got eaten. There was so much rain, and it's been the year of the slug, hasn't it? Let's just all get ourselves some strulch. Let's pay attention to what we know we should do, and let's do that and make sure we mulch and strulch next time.
With this delphinium, Bex, as well, it's you know, you get one of a particular colour. We're not specifying an exact colour, are we? This, or will it?
It's a mix, yeah.
It's a mix, so you might get a blue one.
You might get a blue. You might get a white. Yeah, absolutely.
You might get a white one.
So 511552 is the item number if you want to add the delphinium in. Any of the colours would be amazing anyway, I think. Rudbeckia is the next one, so that's 560717 in the 2 litre pot. Nicely established plant. It should be coming to you with buds on it. Perfect time to get this because it flowers right the way through to September and into October. And of course, we also have the digitalis, the foxglove Dalmatian. That's the one that's got those lovely kind of leopard dot markings on the inside there. Bees and butterflies, well, bees in particular, absolutely adore this plant. So 6 items in our buy one, get one free. If you want to get all 6, one of each, then do that. 3 of them will be absolutely free as long as you use the offer code YGTV3124. That's how you get your free offer included in there. And of course, you will also get your free, you buy one, get one free. And of course, you will also get your free gift included as well, which is the Nautia Melton Pastels. Salvia lips, please don't forget about this one. This is the deal of the week, and it really is the deal of the week. £19 saving on here. You don't have to pick one. All 3 of these are going to be £4.97. So just put that item code in, 560668, and that includes the cherry lips, the amethyst lips, and the hot lips in there as well. £4.97. Right, we're coming back. Adam's lost his talk back again, so he can't speak, he can't hear Stu for some reason. So we'll give him a chance to go away and fix that in a minute, but let's talk first of all, shall we? Oh, you got the free gift in your hand?
Yeah, I have, because Nautia is a really stunning perennial. I mean, it comes back year after year. And we were talking about Rudbeckia giving hundreds of flowers. Nautia, it just flowers its socks off for about 2 or 3 months, covered in bees, covered in pollinating insects, adored by butterflies. And you can see there, it's almost a bit like the pincushion flower, the scabious. It's very kind of similar looking, but just a really joyful, happy plant for an open, sunny position. This, for me, is probably my favourite free gift that we've done this year, because I just know the joy and the happiness and sort of pleasure this is going to bring to people year after year. And that lovely pinky purple colour as well is a favourite of me.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've got something popping up in my garden, and I'm just wondering whether it is a Nautia. I'm going to have a little look when I go home. It's a real purple colour though, so we'll see. You're checking out the roots.
As usual.
Amazing.
Yeah, typical of us, having that fabulous root system. Everything's so well established. We're not just sending out something to you we just put in a pot 2 weeks ago. This is such a well grown on plant. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this gives you another flush of flower even this year. Before the end of September.
Right, so I'm just going to go into the chat. Somebody in the chat on YouTube was saying, Elaine, delphiniums are going in my basket. Mine got munched as well, so she's going to get those in her. I mean, they're super bad slugs, basically. Oh, Anne was saying the other morning there was a slug and snail fest on my lawn. Really turned my stomach.
I'll be doing that every morning this week. Some of them the size of sausages.
When I go...
Huge, great big things.
I don't have many slugs. It's snails in my garden. And every time I go, because we've got... what's that furniture called? The rattan.
Rattan.
So you get the chairs that sit under the table, but that seems to be the perfect home for the snails. They love it. It's dark in there. So every time I go and pull a chair out, I'm like 6 snails and chucking them over the fence.
It's weird because...
Not into the garden, not into neighbour's garden, at the back. I don't have neighbours at the back. I could chuck them over there.
Well, that's what I do, because I've got like a little side road down the side of my bungalow, so I just pick them up, each one with a bit of toilet tissue.
You do toilet tissue?
Yeah,
don't just pick them up with a shell?
No, because they're all... I don't get slugs.
Slugs. Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Slugs are really slimy. So just pick up a bit of toilet tissue and just throw them over the fence. Hopefully the birds will get to eat them.
All right, let's see some pictures, shall we, before we start talking about these gorgeous plants in the middle. I'm going to go back to Alison, who was one of the first people to send us a picture this morning. Angela, you've sent us a picture of a hibiscus. I'm coming to that. Angela says, these photos of my rose pearl wedding. Sorry, Alison. These photos are of the rose pearl wedding that I purchased last year for our anniversary. And then the orange and lemon rose that I haven't even potted up yet. And I think the last one looks like the Agapanthus that is on today's show. Have we got an Agapanthus? We have.
Africanus, haven't we?
Where have I put that? Anyway.
They're down here, I think. Ready to come up in a little while.
Ready to come up. So that's on today's show. It's in my friend's garden and looks beautiful. She's moving soon and can't take it with her, so I may be digging it up for myself. Thanks for all the deals. I wasn't buying much this week, but I am now. Right, so that is the anniversary rose.
How pretty is that?
That's really beautiful.
I love it when you just get so many colours from one flower. I mean, look at that. You could think that's 2 or 3 different roses in there, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Because you've got some that are almost white, some that are sort of pink and white, and some that are almost completely pink. Brilliant. Stunning.
Love those. All right, so that's that one. And the other one was the orange and lemons that she hasn't even potted up yet. Oh, yeah, this is a really gorgeous colour. So that's the one that's got the jumping gene in it. So you get each rose is going to be completely individual with a different colour mix.
Imagine if we were like that. Turned up every week looking slightly different.
I think that'd confuse everybody, wouldn't it? And then finally,
random, wouldn't it?
I love this. So this is in a neighbour's garden. Neighbour's moving, can't take it with her. So she's going to dig it up. Look at that!
Wow.
I would be digging that up as well.
You see, that is in Agapanthus heaven because
it is, isn't it?
That's just the position Agapanthus totally love. They love to be in full sun. They love to be in really super well-drained soil. That's quite near the house as well, so it's getting a little bit of shelter. That is a stonker, that one. I mean,
that's lovely.
Yeah, and good luck digging that up because they have a fierce old root system on them. So you need to get your back into it to dig that one up.
Angela has sent us, my hibiscus has just bloomed and it's beautiful and so much bigger than I thought. Yeah, my hibiscus is looking amazing at the moment. Look at the size of that flower.
They're just starting, aren't they?
Hang on.
Hibiscus.
Is that just a clever angle? Because that is a massive flower.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare that to the pot, I mean, that flower looks about 6 inches across.
That is a massive flower.
It's a lovely double type as well, which is great. I love the sort of the double ones there, those sort of ruffled feathers, petals even. But
yeah, that's huge.
It's I get excited 2 times a year for 2 different types of shrubs.
Just 2 times?
Well, more, but one really super exciting time in the garden I love is when all the lilacs first come out.
Right, yeah.
Because lilacs are so beautiful, aren't they? And such a colour range. And then this time of year when the hibiscus come out.
Ah, very good.
Don't you find when you're driving around, you go down different streets this time of year, you might see one of the bluebird hibiscus with those fabulous blue flowers. And then you go down another street and somebody's got a pure white one with a pink eye or something like that to it. And it's so exciting this time of year when the hibiscus come out because just when you think it's all over, when all the shrubs have done what they're going to do, the hibiscus say hello,
We've got a brand new hibiscus on the show today as well, by the way. What's it called again?
Sugar
tips.
Sugar tips, yes.
Sugar tips.
Tips.
It's coming out very soon. Dingo sent a message in. Just a
I like the way we both hesitated.
Sugar tips. Just a few new deliveries potted up in the pink Prisma pots as you've run out of green. Yeah, sorry about that. Still looks good. Now waiting on hostas and azaleas to fill the other 10 pots. Cheers, Dingo. Oh, look at those.
That's nice.
Look.
I think... I really like the white oleander in the pink pot. That's a good mix.
I love that.
That works really, really well.
You've got a few oleanders going on there. What are those ones?
I
don't know.
I can't quite...
That looks like it could be...
Can't quite make that out. One at the back, that looks like Campsis, the tall one on the cane. That looks like sort of something like Campsis radicans or the trumpet vine. I think that's that one, which is going to start flowering soon. And then we've got the little Acer. It almost looks like the Acer Taylor, pretty much.
Might be Taylor at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's looking good. Hang on, we've got another couple of pictures from Dingo. So those are some of the pots.
They're so good.
Wow. Look at that colour.
That's a salvia, isn't it?
Yeah, there's that
It could be cardinalis, it could be sanguineum.
That colour is incredible.
That is a really, really fiery, solid red, isn't it? And it's another one of those plants, Bex, where you've got the contrast of the flower above that lovely foliage as well. Sometimes the foliage just really sets things off. Oh, that's gorgeous.
Look at that lily.
Can I smell it?
You can't smell it.
That's,
We haven't invented smell-o-vision yet, but check out the colour of this with those beautiful kind of yellow stripes in the centre. It's really pretty. Am I still mirroring, Stu? I know, he's chatting away to himself.
That's one of the Oriental lilies as well, and those are the ones that tend to be really, really super fragrant, the Oriental ones, especially in the evening. Once, sort of mid to late evening, you can be sitting indoors in your living room and the fragrance of these...
Oh, I love them.
Especially on a warm evening, the door's open.
I absolutely love them. I've got so many lilies going on in my garden at the moment, honestly. Every time I walk out, because I've got the skyscraper lilies just round the corner where I come out... The fragrance just hits you in the face. It's amazing. I walk
around the garden. I don't know if you do this, but I tend to walk around the garden because it's starting to get dark now, and at about sort of just 9, 9:15, and I just walk round and I just stand in front of each lily and I just go, and I do it on each one for about a minute or so.
My jasmine has forgiven me now as well because I moved it and it didn't really do much last year. You're Loads of foliage, but
you're a right rebel in the garden. You like to break the rules.
I learnt from my mum. My mum would always do this, and it was her favourite line. Because she's a tough woman, is my mother. She brought us up like this as well. So whenever she'd move a plant, she'd be like, well, it's got 2 choices, can live or die. Which is basically how she brought her kids up.
It must be a generation thing, because my father-in-law's got almost identical saying, he says he's got 2 chances, it will or it won't.
Yeah. And, it'll live or die.
Yeah, he's the same.
Morning, Mum, if you're watching. And she never really said live or die to us. How obvious. I really hope she's not watching. I'm going to be in trouble. Right, I'll come back to pictures in a little while.
Plants want to live. Plants want to thrive. That's
so
the
whole
kids. Raison d'etre. So they're not going to give up easily.
Right, let's talk to you about the beautiful oleanders. We saw some of those in Dingo's pictures, didn't we? He's got the gorgeous white ones. We're bringing you the shades of pink, still on that amazing deal, which is the best ever price that we brought you on the oleanders. So you can get one of these for half price. They're normally $29.99. You can get one for $14.99. Does that smell nice?
Do you know, sometimes people say oleanders are fragrant and I can never smell them. These,
yeah, you can really... Do you know what? Now they've fully opened up.
Yeah.
This is the thing. When they're
fragrance.
First starting to open, you can't really smell it, but now they are fully open. Wow, the fragrance is incredible. So it's one, by the way, for half price, £14.99. Cool. But if you want to go for two is a good option because it is just £19.98 if you go for 2. You must put 2 in your basket. And then enter the code YGTV3124 and that will give you that saving. So £19.99. Put the code in, enter 2, put the code in. Doesn't matter which way around you do it, you will get that saving.
That's a lovely soft... I'd say that the picture we got on the screen, I'd say this is a slightly softer pink than
we get
picture,
a few different shades. This is why I call it shades of pink. Because sometimes they're slightly paler, sometimes they're slightly darker pink. We can't guarantee whether you'll get a dark pink or a lighter pink, but you will get a gorgeous pink.
Yeah, well... pink's a fantastic colour anyway. I mean, I love pink, always love pink. It's just a great colour in the garden, like that gorgeous pink gerbera we've got over there, for instance. But, I mean, look at these. Multi-stem plants as well. We always make a point, don't we, Bex, when we talk about these as saying that, these are grown from cuttings, and normally there's 3 groups of cuttings in here, and there's 3 on that one, there's 3 on that one, there's 2 on the small one. So there's, generally there's 9 stems on each one, which is absolutely fantastic. There's always leaves right the way down to the base. You're not getting some spindly stem with just a bare stem at the base and just a few flowers at the top. And then, I mean, look at these, absolutely smothered in blossom. But then, if you actually turn this around and go right in here, look, even there's a little tiny baby bud there. Now, where are we? We're at the beginning of August. So that's going to be a flower for probably towards the end of August, going into September. So, and even in this one, there's a little, really, really tiny little flower bud in there. So even though we're 1st of August, these are not thinking, well, I'm going to give up flowering anytime soon.
No.
And especially if the weather stays warm and sunny like we've had, these are going to give you that Mediterranean feel, that holiday feel, right the way through August into September, even October. Plant them somewhere really sunny, warm, well drained. We say these are hardy down to about -5. You can give them some winter protection to get them through. If you've got them in a pot, then you can always put them somewhere out the way in the winter, especially if you're in somewhere that does get really, really cold. But there's just something really fascinating and uplifting, and I use this word quite a lot, beguiling about oleanders. They just, I mean, I can think of a few people on holiday at the moment, a few friends of mine that are away at the moment. My friend Sandra, she's in Corfu, and she's probably seen these growing all over the place in flowering Corfu at the moment. So, there's no need to come back and have the holiday blues because you're having to leave all the oleanders behind. You can have them in your own garden in the UK.
It's very true. I think you can create your own gorgeous kind of tropical paradise in your own garden very, very easily. And we're bringing you several of those plants that you can do that with. Oleanders are definitely one of those, really easy to look after. Do remember these are toxic to humans and to pets, so you might want to consider that if you're purchasing and where you're going to place them. Put 2 in your basket in order to access that double up deal for $19.99. It's still a great deal on one, by the way. If you want to just go for one, but that's fine. It's still half price at $14.99, but it's just £5 for the second one if you enter that into your basket.
£5?
£5, a fiver. So if you want to add in that, but also the Patio spiral stem olive trees, we are really creating that gorgeous holiday feel here. You're definitely going to feel like you're sitting somewhere having a lovely gin and tonic or a mimosa and feel like you're on holiday, but you're actually only in your back garden. Let's have a little look at these in the nursery with our lovely Sean Ryan.
I keep coming back to these at the nursery. These are the spiral stem olives, and I just think they are beautiful. They're works of art, aren't they? I was just imagining how many years it's taken to grow these, to actually get an olive and train it so the stem goes round and grows out in this absolutely delightful spiral shape. They're just so ornate, so beautiful, and I would definitely go for pear. What's interesting is when you look, they are so similar. A lot of the stems are, I mean, these two are vertical, that's a new word, virtually identical. I like my new word. But let's talk about olive trees. So they are regarded as being hardy in the UK. I've got several and I've had them, probably 12, maybe even 15 years, and they've all survived the winter. They will produce olives, and in fact, this one, if I just bring it round, this one, and that one, they've got flowers forming right now. Now the flowers are quite insignificant. I mean, these are buds, but when they open up, they're kind of like a creamy colour, really quite small. But every one of those flowers has got the potential to actually turn into an olive. On a good summer, depending where you live in the UK, they will ripen and you can actually eat them. Some summers, if it's a short summer, you live in the north, they may not ripen enough to eat, but they'll still look really, really attractive. You imagine this covered in olives, it's going to look absolutely gorgeous. And I could just imagine these 2 spiral olive trees outside your patio doors. If you're lucky enough to have a conservatory, imagine them outside the conservatory doors. They're just beautiful. And so I can only imagine the amount of years and the amount of skill that's gone into growing these into this spiral shape. I love them. I love olives anyway, and I love the fact they're evergreen. I love the foliage. I love the fact that they give you a real sense of the Mediterranean. But these, being spirals, are really, really special.
Indeed, really special. Sean is correct on that one, and basically breaking down to £30 each. Way less than that if you're in the club. It's £7 each if you are in the club. I think that is a really special price, particularly if you've been looking at the prices of those elsewhere. They do come with that higher price tag, but we've really brought that price down for you here at YGTV. 680308 is the item number if you would like to go for those. I just think they're brilliant to have either side of your front door or either side of a gateway. Really do elevate the look of any front door, particularly my horrible one. But we brought you over now to our favourites table. That's the door that's horrible. The door is horrible. The trees are lovely. One day I will replace it.
You don't adore your door?
I don't adore my door. It's boring. Right, let's talk about the favourites, shall we? Because I mean, look at the festival of colour that we've got going on over here. It is just what I can see here is just a beautiful garden straight away.
You know, the strange thing, Bex, as well, I find sometimes some people, when we get into August, they kind of they start to give up on their garden a bit.
Yeah, don't do that.
I know, and I think, you know what?
There's so much you can do.
Yeah, the party's only just getting started. I mean, there is so much more colour to come. You can have so much more joy in your garden right the way through August, September, October, and a lot of these perennials we're bringing you today will flower all the way through to that time, won't they?
Indeed,
just giving you that constant colour, fragrance, joy, helping the bees, the pollinating insects, just keeping the season going.
Well, everything on this table is under £10, unless you want to double up on your or triple up on your tayberries, then we're going over. But you can get one for under £10. But let's start off with the bulbs mauve, shall we, at this end of the table. So you are going to get 3 9cm pots for £9.99. That is my bulbs mauve in my garden. I'm just trying to work out what month that was. That was probably about May. I reckon I can see the tulips have gone over. Yeah, I reckon that was May. But it's looking absolutely incredible, and it just flowers for ages.
Yeah, they are really mad. I mean, again, I mentioned the example earlier on of a show home I look after in the place called St Neots, and they've got a row of these in the back garden, and it's not even in full sun. I mean,
it's better if it's not in full sun. That's what I've discovered.
Yeah, this back garden only gets a bit of sun in the morning, then the rest of the day they're in shade, and they've actually just kept flowering. Well, I started in this show garden April last year, and I go there every month, twice a month in the summer. And even in January, even in November and December, it still had odd flowers on it. I'm not saying they were spectacular, like in the spring or summer, but they still had flower, which was just remarkable.
Well, that video you just saw, Stu had a little look at the timestamp. It was actually middle of May, that one was. So, sorry, middle of April. So in the middle of April, that is the amount of flowers that you can have on this plant. How many? And that one's June. Actually, I gave it a good trim after this. I gave it a good deadhead after June, just because it was starting to look a bit leggy and a bit long. Yeah. So I cut it all back, and it's really starting to bloom back up again now.
And that's a really good thing with bulbs mauve as well. You'll extend the life of this plant if every so often you do trim it back. Don't go really harsh.
You don't want to cut into the woody bits,
no,
do
don't
you?
Just don't go down to woody stems. It will hate that. But every so often, and sometimes it's a bit of a sacrifice to do it. But
I did. I mean, I literally took everything off.
Yeah,
I took all the flowers. I took it all off. So it was lovely, beautiful foliage, but I took it right back. It's taken a few weeks, but it's really coming back and looking beautiful again now.
Because sometimes the temptation is to leave it to the very last single little flower. But if you can just sacrifice those last few flowers and then go back to where that flower shoot started,
like so Bex said. This does need trimming, doesn't it? I would trim that.
And then where your thumb is there, Bex, look, you can see there's already another bud coming there. So that will then take over from that main flower shoot. But the longer you leave that main flower shoot on, the longer it's going to suppress those little ones at the side. Do what Bex said, trim it back, then you'll invigorate all those side shoots, and you'll go without flower for a few weeks, but then that colour will come back. And I mean, one of these flower spikes from start to finish, I've known them to take a couple of months, 2 or 3 months for one flower spike.
Absolutely.
To start and finish.
Yeah, they're incredible, and even on a dull day, these really do brighten up that border. So I highly recommend them. They're one of my favourites. I do have them in my garden, and I will always have them in my garden. Now I've learnt how amazing they are. 3 9cm pots included in that deal. 560069 is the item number. Go to YouGarden.com to place your order. There is a free gift included with every order as well, which is the Nautia Macedonica melton pastels. It's just popped up on the screen down there as well. So that will get entered into your basket anyway, as long as you put the code in, YGTV3124, that will automatically be entered into your basket. So just make sure you put that in. That will also unlock the deals, by the way, the savings. So if you are putting the bulbs mauve in your basket, you'll only get that £9.99 price if you put the code in. If you don't put the code in, you'll be paying £29.97. We don't want you to do that. So make sure you put the code in. Next up, we have our Rudbeckia. This is also under £10, and you will get those 3 9cm pots included. Beautiful flower, Rudbeckia.
Starting to flower right now, and that's really good, because we're kind of in sort of mid to, well, not late summer, but we've just gone past midsummer now, so it's great to have a perennial that's going to start flowering right now and just keep going right the way up through August, September into October. Look at these. I used to hate having yellow flowers in my garden years ago. I just would never have yellow flowers at all. It always had to be purple, had to be white, had to be pink, those sorts of colours. But couple of 2 or 3 years ago, I got 2 or 3 plugs of these from YouGarden. I planted them on the right-hand side of my patio. They've formed this huge, great big clump, and they are just joyful. I mean, for week after week after week, happy, huge daisy-like flowers with those black buttons in the centre, hence cone flower is their common name. They originate from North America. North America gets pretty damn cold in the wintertime, so that will tell you how hardy these are. They like to be somewhere open and bright. If you plant them somewhere shadier, they tend to get a bit leggy and they don't flower quite so much.
Because they're reaching for the sun, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. So plant them somewhere open and sunny. That's where they'll really, really be nice and compact with rigid stems. You'll get the maximum amount of flower. And one flower, you can stay on there for a couple of weeks, just one single flower. And I didn't even bother deadheading mine because they just...
No, I didn't.
No, they just...
Left it to do its thing.
Yeah, but they still kept flowering and flowering and flowering.
Absolutely, it's a fantastic plant. Definitely think about adding the Rudbeckia into your basket. 3 9cm pots. It's $6.99 for this one. So, what do you go for? I would definitely be adding the Rudbeckia. £6.99 for 3 of those. You can go for the 2 litre in the buy one get one free option. So it's a $9.99 for 1 plant. But add another one in, you will get another one absolutely free. Details are on the screen there for you. I think that's a tough call based on pricing, because that's actually quite difficult, isn't it? You can get 2 more established ones for $9.99, or you can get 3 smaller ones for $6.99.
Although sometimes...
Oh, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I don't know. Which one do you want to go for? It's up to you. You make that decision. Let's bring you to the plant. Oh, apparently the 2 litre is more popular. Whatever you want to do. Let's talk to you about our deal of the week, though, because this one I just think is a... Are we allowed to say no-brainer? It really is. You don't need to think about this one. This one is just one that needs going into your basket. It just needs adding in, because you get all 3 of these salvias, the cherry lips, the amethyst lips, and the hot lips, and it is £4.97. That is not a choice. You don't have to pick one. You will get all 3 for £4.97. And if you're in our club, £4.47, because that discount club, which I haven't talked enough about yet, that gives you 10% discount off all the plants and the pots and everything as well. So you'd still get the saving, you'd still get the £19 saving, and then you're also going to get 10% off that saving as well. £4.47. Incredible. Oh, apparently somebody's ordered 3 sets of these, so they're going to get 9 salvia lips delivered.
They really are.
And we've only had 1 order today that doesn't include that. So well done. Thank you very much. Everybody does love this, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just bowled over, really, because I go to garden centres and, different places all the time, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a 2 litre one of those in a 2 litre pot for $6.99 just for 1 plant. The fact you're getting 3, and you're getting 3 fabulous different plants as well. I mean, look at this, the colour of this one. It's almost that claret kind of, gorgeous dark colour there. Such a rich, deep kind of ruby red. And the amethyst, and then the lovely purple here as well, stunning purple. And then the hot lips down at the front there. They're quite strange, because I've seen them sometimes on one plant, one flower being all red.
Yes.
And then one flower almost being completely white. And
they change with the weather. So
yeah,
the hotter it is, this is the one, isn't it? So I think the hotter it is, the more colour it will have. The cooler it is, the more white it will have. And sometimes it just does what it wants anyway.
They do have that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying they've got like the jumping gene, like the rose, the orange and lemon rose, but yeah, they do sort of have quite different flowers on one plant at the same time. But also, and actually, I can actually smell these from here. These have got really lovely aromatic foliage, because they're a member of the sage family, so you're kind of getting that sagey kind of smell from these, which smells really lovely.
I'm considering, because this is an amazing price, so I'm digging up my lavender border this year, because it's filled with weeds, and I'm propagating from it, so I'm making new lavender, because you should always have lavender in your garden somewhere, so I am propagating from it. But I'm digging the lavender border up.
Okay.
Because it's just got 2 filled with weeds. I can't get the weeds out from in between. I'm just thinking about getting maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could probably get 2 sets of this and plant those in and create a lovely hedge of salvia lips in there instead of my lavender border.
Well, you know what, Bex? Is your lavender hedge really thrived where it's been?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're very similar plants. They come from very similar parts of the world. They love the same conditions. These would make an amazing hedge, and it's weird you should say that as well, because Jenny and Gerald, my mother and father-in-law, where they live in Kent, as you drive into their drive, they've got a rose bed down the left-hand side, and they used to have, it's gone now, but they used to have a row of these salvias down the side, and in the end, they just clip them and shape them. They almost form like an informal hedge. And it was brilliant because you had that colour all the way through.
I might go for 9 and really fill it in, but then they'll mix into each other a little bit as well, won't they? They drop their leaves though, don't they, in winter time? So they are. Yeah,
sometimes I've found them to be almost a bit semi-evergreen, depending on what the winter's like. But if you look here, we've got these 3 separate 9-centimetre pot ones, but look at the way the colours go together so well. I mean, the way these colours are mingling in.
I think I'm going to do that.
I
think I'm going to create a lovely little hedge, mixed in, gorgeous colour. You still get pollinators on these as well, don't you? So I'll still be inviting those pollinators in. I'll put some lavender somewhere else in the garden to make sure I've got some lavender going on.
And you'll brush past and you'll get that lovely sagey fragrance.
Oh, I like that idea.
Look at the root system again. I mean, phenomenal root system on these, as always. I'm always so confident pulling anything out of a pot on YouGarden.
Yeah. We never checked before.
I know it's, and honestly, I swear to you, I did not pre-check this before I took it out of the pot, because I just know every time we're going to have these plants that are so established, so well developed. But yeah, these are stunning. Months and months of flower, really fragrant foliage. In fact, you can almost feel on your fingers kind of the essential oils almost sort of coming out of the foliage on these. And that lovely, lovely sagey fragrance, happy, bright, cheerful colours there. And plants great for super sunny, poor kind of soils and drought tolerant as well.
Brilliant. Definitely add those in. Only one order hasn't had the Salvia lips in yet today. Somebody ordered 3 sets. I think I'm going to do exactly the same and create that lovely border along my driveway, because I would basically create a good 6-metre border, maybe 8-metre border for 15 quid if I order 3 sets of that. That's amazing, isn't it?
I think
I'm going to do it.
Yeah, do it, honestly. It'd be really, really brilliant. And this time next year,
that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it?
You'll have the most amazing pictures. You really will.
Alison, have you shown any of my photos yet? I've been driving home from my dad's. Alison, yes, we did, my love. We showed them earlier on. Yeah, we showed, what was it? No, Alison sent your rose pearl, the agapanthus. Yeah, we did show them earlier. Rewind, you'll be able to have a little look. Elaine, I know you've sent some more pictures. I will do my best to get to those very soon. Standard roses, apricot shades, and the new iceberg rose white. So we'll try and get to those in a little while. Let's finish off on our favourites table, though. We've got the gerberas. All 3 of these on a half-price deal. 3 of them for £9.99.
Oh, come on, look at these.
Come on.
These are just such classically happy-looking flowers. How can you not look into a gerbera flower and not feel kind of excited and uplifted? And there's something of that sort of simplicity of that daisy-like flower. When we were kids, I always say, you go into a primary school, you ask 100 kids to draw a flower, but 99% of them would draw a flower just like this, kind of a round centre, little petals around the edge. There's something about the simplicity, but also the beauty of daisy-type flowers that really kind of speak to us. And that colour range on this, that blancmange pink, is just fabulous. Such a solid pink. And this one, I mean, this is like we need, who's the lovely lady who always comes up with the brilliant colour suggestions for us?
Oh, that's Elaine.
Elaine, we need your colour suggestion for this.
Yeah, it's not quite a ruby, is it? It's not. What is it, Elaine?
Yeah, it's a kind of in-betweeny colour, but it's certainly stunning. And this one, I mean, come on, look at this one. I'm going to just bend the flower over a bit.
Yeah, that bicolour bloom, I do love that. But they just work beautifully together, don't they? It is a £10 saving. These are hardy. You just need to. They're hardy down to about -7, I think, is what we say on these. So, bit of strelch. I would definitely recommend adding that on just to make sure that you get that display again. Loads of flowers throughout that growing season, and these start quite early. I mean, mine were flowering, probably towards the end of April. I got my first flowers coming up on my gerberas this year, so
and up to
definitely
50,
worth it.
50 flowers per plant.
Once they get established.
Funny enough, when I was doing that with that plant, that flower just now, it reminded me of what those you remember the squirty flowers?
Yeah.
Like use them like a little water. You used to wear them as a ring, and it like squirt some with the flower. But yeah, these are great for children as well. These plants, because kids would love growing these because they're such joyful, sort of happy colours. And then we come on to something that kind of once upon a time was a blackberry, but it isn't now, and it was a raspberry, but it isn't now. It's a cross between the two. So. This is plant witchcraft, as our producer Stu says, but it's just modern breeding. But what we've done is, in essence, is blackberries quite often give huge fruit, don't they? But blackberries can be a little bit on the sour side, whereas raspberries can be smaller but always really, really sweet.
Yes.
So now we've crossed the two to give you the best of both worlds. Huge, great big fruits that are really juicy and super sweet. That's what a tayberry is, and very, very easy to grow. These grow on the previous year's wood. So when you get these home, this wood here, this new wood, this will give you your fruit for next year. So these need a support, trellis work, wire or something like that. So what I would do is, when you get them home, put this, and another important tip as well, tie this onto some trellis or wires, but make sure you tie it in as horizontally as possible.
Ooh, stress the plant.
Yeah, that's really, really important, because what will happen then is, rather than just have a cluster of flowers on the end and fruit on the end, when you take it down, each leaf will send up a fruiting shoot and you'll get fruit all the way along.
Love it.
So that is next year's flowering cane. Now, when this starts fruiting next year, in 2025, you'll see some more fresh shoots come up from the base. Train those to the opposite, train those to the left, because those shoots will give you your fruit for 2026, and then you just alternate that from year to year. That way you always know your current year's fruiting wood from your following year's fruiting wood.
And once you've finished fruiting and you picked all your fruit, you trim that down pretty much to the base.
To the ground, yeah, take it down to the ground
and let it grow.
Yeah.
Excuse me. The next year you'll be working from the other side, and you always just alternate between the two. It's really, I mean, those are great tips from Adam there, and I love excuse me. I love the tips that you give about stressing the plant, and it's not just for fruiting plants, is it? It's for roses and things like that, and
really important for roses.
climbers and stuff.
Yeah.
If you make them go like this, you stress the plant. Shoots, you get more shoots, which gives you more flowers and more fruits when necessary as well. And that's why you watch us here. That's why you come to join us in the potting shed. Next, we're going to move on to our beautiful Euphorbia Miner's Merlot. Definitely one of your favourites when it comes to what you plant in other people's gardens.
Oh, Bex, I mean, it's just one of those plants that's just got so many attributes. I mean, first thing to say, it's evergreen, so it's always going to look good all the way through the year. And then look at it. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 plants in one plant. Look at the stem, that lovely sort of deep red.
It's a gorgeous dark colour, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely stem. That's always that colour. Look at the new leaves. Again, let's just tilt this forward so Stu can see into the, that lovely flower spike there. Look at that lovely kind of cluster of leaves there, dark sort of brownish leaves. And when you look from the other side, you can actually see the light shining through them. They've got a different colour again altogether. Then as those leaves mature, they turn into these lovely, healthy green, dark green leaves. But then look at that. Look at the flowers on the top there. In fact, they're almost a little bit deceiving, these flowers, because the true flower is this little tiny little thing in the middle, which, to be honest, if that was just there on its own, you wouldn't really be making a song and dance about, would you, really? But we've got what's known as bracts, B-R-A-C-T-S, bracts either side. These are a modified type of leaf that looks like a petal, and when you put those together with the flower and that foliage, oh my goodness me, you've got a plant here with so much character, so much interest, a plant that's really hardy, very drought tolerant, will take full sun, will come back year after year, and it's got that foliage that is so brilliant for contrasting other plants with and creating something really dramatic. And imagine growing one of those in a pot, a really nice pot, and then mulching with white pebbles underneath. Or white
that's
chippings.
a nice idea.
That could be really, really dramatic.
Yeah.
Or you could even go the other way and put black snake grass underneath, Ophiopogon, to try and keep that dark colour theme going, with white gravel in between that. All of a sudden, when you get plants like this, it just opens up new options, new possibilities, new ways to sort of contrast and bring a difference to your garden.
Yeah, I adore them, and I also adore this amazing price, because we've got one available here for £4.99, which is a brilliant price, honestly, for one of those, £4.99. However, we've got something which is an even better value. So under a different item number, 511386, you can get 3 of them for £9.99. So it's basically a buy 2 get 1 free, is what we're saying here. It's even cheaper if you go into the club as well, by the way. £8.99 if you are in our club, because you get an extra 10% discount on there.
And again, I mean, you know, look at the plant in my hand. You've got that amazing root system on there.
Yeah, it's so healthy.
This plant's already like a foot tall, pretty much, you know, really thick stem.
It does establish quite quickly. That's the other thing about it. It fills a gap quite quickly. It's not one you're having to wait for ages. It's fairly rapid growth.
As I say, John, my other half, ordered 3 of these from YouGarden a couple of months ago, and we planted them up, and in the pots we're putting them out in the front garden. They've already grown away really, really well. They're already thriving, already looking really, really interesting. And I know next spring they're probably going to send up 5 or 6 shoots each. So like, all of a sudden that single stem plant will become a cluster, like Bex is one in the picture, a cluster of those stems, looking absolutely fabulous. It's almost like you've sat down yourself and you've fed into a computer. Computer, create me this plant. I want this plant. I want it to look like this. I want all these attributes. And there you are. It's all in Hellebore minus Merlot.
Love
Euphorbia.
it. Euphorbia minus Merlot. 511386 is the item number. Do go for this one. It's the 3-pack, triple pack of 9cm pots for £4.99. If you do want to go for just one, we have that available for £4.99. But obviously you're getting a better value deal if you go for this triple pack under the item code 511386. Now you might want something to plant your plants into. If you're planting up in pots, if you are improving the content of what you've already got in your borders, this is the compost that we are recommending for you. It's the best compost, and we know that because we use it. We know it because the people here at YouGarden, I mean, I'm not going to take credit for it. I can't. Peter McDermott, our head gardener, probably can take a lot of credit for this one. But people have honed this, made it better over the years, and really turned it into the kind of compost that every plant is going to love, whether that's your outdoor plants, the pots, the borders, or even indoor plants. I've repotted all my houseplants in this, and they are having a wonderful time. And you often talk about how it's actually quite a simple recipe.
Yeah.
But
brilliant.
But it's taken some, serious knowledge to simplify it to that point, hasn't it?
It is, and and sometimes in life, I mean, my dad always said to me, he's not here anymore, bless his soul, but my dad always said, he used to really like cars in the olden days, son, because they were a lot more simple, less to go wrong, and sometimes you keep something simple, you keep it to basics, and you get that fantastic result. I only say that as well because sometimes you can go to a garden centre these days, you can see 7, 8, 9, 10 different makes of compost, and they're all vying for your attention with added this, added that, number 1, number 2, number 3, blah blah blah, and you really don't know which one to go for. You're kind of in the lap of the gods when you're trying to choose which one to go for. But this is probably our most 5-star rated reviewed product. And it is just a superb compost. I mean, Al Graham, the Siller used to say, stores this in his garage. View at Graham, he's got always bags and bags of this, isn't he, Bex? Kind of stores. And simply the reason is, first thing to say, this is a massively, massively peat-reduced compost. That's the way we're all going now, and eventually we will be peat-free. But we were doing that long before, the current kind of curve to go towards peat-free. But what we've done, we've then replaced that with composted wood fibre. And that does 2 or 3 things. First of all, it keeps the compost nice and open, so that lets the air percolate down to the roots. It's really, really important because plants need air around their roots. It allows the moisture to go down into the compost, but also other elements hold on to that moisture. So you get that perfect balance of, it's not waterlogged, but it doesn't dry out super quick either. And also, just imagine you're a little tiny seed. Orchid seed per ounce is more expensive than gold.
Is it?
It is, yeah, because the seeds are so small, almost microscopic. So if you imagine you're a really, really tiny seed and you're trying to start life, you want a compost like this that's so open and airy and easy to put your roots down into. We've got a wetting agent in this as well. It makes this compost hydrophilic. It means it loves to absorb the water. Again, if you've used other composts in the past and you've gone away for a few days and you're hanging baskets or your pots have dried out and you've come home and everything's wilting and you're horrified, aren't you? And you run to the tap, you fill up the watering can, you try and water the compost, it runs straight off like water off a duck's back because it hasn't got enough wetting agent. This will rehydrate really, really quickly. So if it does dry out, you're going to get your plants back into good health very, very quickly. It's got a slow release fertiliser that will last up to 6 months. And that's what Bex has got in her hands here. These little green beads are your slow-release fertiliser. They're going to feed your plant over a long period of time. So not like one of those big sugary drinks that gives you a big whack of energy and then it's all over. This is going to consistently feed your plant. It comes in these plain bags because our producer, Stu, always says the value is in the bag, not on the bag. And it doesn't need to be in fancy bags because it comes direct, Bex, isn't it, from the supplier straight to you. And I mean, I've tried this for all sorts of things. I had a little plant called an aglaonema that I had for a year and a half. And it was one of those silly little dinky plants that you buy at a till sometimes in the supermarket. It just had 2 leaves for a year and a half. It would not grow. About 6 weeks ago, I actually then transplanted it into a slightly bigger pot using this compost. It's now got 4 or 5 great big leaves. It's finally started to grow. It's got lovely sort of pinkish coloured leaves.
Red zircon.
If I remember, I'll kind of bring it in. So that to me says that, you know, this compost, it really will revive even plants that have struggled for a long, long period of time.
All right, yeah, it is absolutely fantastic. It's like our trade secret that we've let out the bag, that we've allowed normal people like you and me to be able to use. This is the compost that we use here at the nursery. Anything we put on, anything that we grow is planted in this compost, and that should tell you how good this is, because our business is growing plants. We're not going to use anything substandard. 100125 is the item number. There is no postage on this item. So this is a great one. If you just want to get your compost and your free gift, there's no postage included on here. Brilliant. But it's a great one if you want to get your order to over £40. Maybe you've got a couple of plants. You don't want to pay that postage. You know you're going to use compost at some point. You might as well add this into your basket and get that free postage included. We've still got lots to come. We've still got the amazing... Where are the roses? Are they coming up next?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be changing the table in a minute.
Good, because we really need to get to that one. It's an incredible deal. Less than £8 for 3 roses. Yeah, we're coming to it. So let's give you a quick reminder, shall we, of some of the items that we've seen while Adam changes that table over. These are all the buy one, get one free items. They are all in 2-litre pots, and they are on a mix and match. So you don't have to have 2 of the same. You can if you want to, but you can mix and match. So starting off with Rudbeckia, 560717 in the 2-litre pot. Beautiful late flowering plant. When I say late, I mean it's just starting to come into flower now. So there are buds, there are flowers just starting to appear, and they will keep going for you through the remainder of summer and into September. And even mine was flowering in October last year as well. So lovely plant just to, extend that flowering season. If you want a 2-litre, you can put this one in your basket. If you want 2 of them, put 2 in your basket. Enter the code YGTV3124. One of them will be free. However, you don't have to get 2 of these. You could get 1 of these and then maybe 1 of the digitalis, the foxglove Dalmatians. As long as you put both of those in your basket, enter the offer code YGTV3124. One of them will be free. It's part of the buy one, get one free mix and match. We've got 6 items in the mix and match. So we love foxgloves. Bees love foxgloves. They're really reliable. They don't even need to be in the sunniest border in your garden. They can cope with being a little bit in the shade. And they are just really, really beautiful, gorgeous tall spikes of flowers you get from those. 511553 is the item number. Next we've got the delphinium, the magic fountain. Now I can't guarantee which colour you're going to get. This is a sort of potluck when it comes to the colours. All the colours are beautiful when it comes to delphiniums. But it is in that 2-litre pot, so really nicely established, gorgeous tall spikes of flowers you get from those. So, they're just I was going to say they're a bit like foxgloves, but I just mean in how they, grow nice and tall, work beautifully in borders. But they do have a gorgeous kind of structure to them. One of my favourites, honestly, when you go to all the flower shows, delphiniums are one of the stars of the shows. £9.99, part of the mix and match. So next in the mix and match, we've got the painted lady ferns. 3 ferns for you. I think you could go for all 3 ferns if you wanted to, because they are different sizes, different shapes, so they'd work really gorgeously together in a border. Painted lady is low growing but spreads wide, so this is great for ground cover. At the front of the border, beautiful colours on here, purples, greens, silvers. I mean, it's incredible. It is a deciduous one, so it's not one that will stay there over the winter, but it's worth it for that colour display you get here. 560931 is the item number for that one. Next we have the hairy lip fern. Now this one can cope a little bit more with a sunny spot. Likewise though, it could be happy in a shady spot, but if you do have a sunny spot for it, this one can actually cope with it. Relatively low growing, this one. This one's the one that gets to about 60 centimetres. So this one's, if you're going for all three, this would go behind the painted lady. 561204 is the item number for the hairy lip. And then we have the copper shield fern, which is the taller one. So this will get to about 3 feet in height. So this would go at the back if you were going for all three of those. It's the top seller when it comes to the ferns in our buy one get one free mix and match. 561200 is the item number. Beautiful colours you've got on there as well. So you've got those the greens, but you also get those coppery and pink tones on that one as well. So 6 items to choose from in the buy one get one free mix and match. You could buy all 6. So if you put all 6 into your basket and enter the code YGTV3124, 3 of those would be free. You can multi-buy as many of those as you like. Just make sure you do even numbers so that you get an even amount of them for free. Next, we've got the Euphorbia minus merlot. This is the triple pack that you've got here. Great saving on this one. Look, we're at £19.98 saving. It's a buy one, get 2 free, essentially. 511386 for one of my favourite plants in my garden. It always looks amazing. The foliage is evergreen, but it is that really valuable kind of merlot, burgundy, beautiful coloured foliage that then contrasts so gorgeously with the other plants in your garden, but also with the flowers that appear on here, because you get those lovely lime greeny coloured flowers. 511386 is the item number. If you just want one, you can get one for £4.99, but I do recommend going for the triple pack. Next, we've got the Bowls Mauve. Oh, another, same deal, basically. So £9.99 for 3, saving nearly £20 there. Another one that I think is incredible. Another one I've got in my garden. I love it so much because it has such a long flowering season. It looks bright even on the dullest of days. Mine was in full bloom, you know, right from the middle of sort of April, maybe even a little earlier, March. It was looking amazing as well. But 9-10 months of the year, you get so many flowers on here. Every month of the year I had flowers on. Admittedly, in December, it was only 1 or 2, but there were still flowers on it. It is evergreen, so that foliage is there all the time. Super easy to look after. A little bit of deadheading will really encourage those flowers to keep coming through, though. But you can leave them for a long time before you have to pay them any attention. 560069 is the item number for the Bowls Mauve, 3 9-centimetre pots included. And we have got that deal for you on the Oleander. We've maintained the half price deal on the one. So if you want to get one, it'll be £14.99 instead of nearly £30. But again, it's where you multi-order that you get the best value, because if you put 2 of these in your basket and enter the code YGTV3124, the second one will go into your basket basically for an extra £5, so they work out at £10 each. So it doesn't matter which deal you go for, you're still getting an incredible deal. You can get 1 at half price, or you can get 2 for £20. 680027 is the item number for the Oleander shades of pink. We're coming back. We are coming back. I'm just having a little look in the chat to see what everybody's saying. Hello, East Coast Tropical Gardens. Hello, Nathan. Stuart, sorry, it looks like tangerine or blood orange. Elaine, what are you talking about? Which plant are you talking about there, my lovely? I don't know what you're saying.
Could it be the cordyline? I was asking about it. No.
Don't know. Elaine, is that referring to something we've talked about already? What is it?
What was the 2 descriptions?
Blood orange or tangerine?
Yeah, the colour for the gerbera.
Oh! Yes. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you, Adam, for the brilliant memory.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Ooh, I quite like blood orange.
Blood orange. That's blood orange. That's a good one.
Blood orange.
Blood orange kind of colour.
Well done, Elaine. You are good at that. See, our memories aren't good, but you are good. Right, I did say I was going to show some of Elaine's pictures as well while we're here. So she sent in the rose iceberg white. Whoa! Oh, look. Ooh, I'm counting the buds. I'm bud counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 at an initial count. That looks incredible, doesn't it?
That is beautiful. That in
That's in one
another
of our
week's
Diablo
time.
pots as well.
Yeah, that's gonna look. Oh wow, gorgeous.
Yeah, that looks lovely, Elaine. What else did she send? Standard roses and apricot shades was the next picture. Oh, she's done exactly what we talk about, which is doing that underplanting, isn't it? Get that lovely tiered display. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I still haven't quite shifted this cold. I'm slightly worried I might be getting another one, which is annoying, isn't it?
There's a weird old few things going around at the moment. There's a weird old cough going round. It's doing the rounds.
Yeah, honestly, it's been like 3 weeks now, and I'm kind of over it. Oh, here, Stu's going to tell us a joke. I can tell by the tone that it's going to be a joke. Actually, I went to the doctor's the other day. I had this buzzing in my ear. Doctor said, "Don't worry, it's just a bug that's going around." I knew it was going to be a joke. It's only a slight change in the way that he talks. It's so slight. And when you know him, you just know. This is not going to be a true, genuine story. This is going to be a joke. Anyway. Elaine, standard rose. Oh, that's the same picture, Elaine. You've sent it twice. But thank you. I love getting all of the pictures. Dave has sent a picture. Dave Harris. Ooh,
hey,
very nice.
Wow.
That looks like the brown-eyed girl, doesn't it?
That's goodness me. That's been flowering a good old time now, because that was a good couple of months ago or so, wasn't it?
I'm just also looking at your neighbours. Are those apricot shades you got over there?
Look a bit apricot shady, didn't it? So you might look over the neighbour's wall as well.
Just looking over at the neighbour's fence.
Yeah.
I'm so nosy.
Let's have a good old nose.
I'm so nosy.
Do you ever find
That's it for now.
Do you find sometimes if you do that sometimes though, and somebody else is growing something the same as you, but it's growing a lot better than you?
Yeah.
Have they done that?
Right. Have I told everybody? You know, if you've been here, you were here when we were doing the hanging baskets, and you know how we're saying about how there's that secret competition in the street over who's got the best take, but it's a secret. Nobody ever talks about it. And then Stu was going, "Are you sure is it just in your head?" It is a thing. So a neighbour of mine was having a party. It was their 50th, and they had this big outdoor, lovely. They'd ordered a tent, and it was massive. They're loaded. So I went round, and they got beer on tap. I was like, "Oh, I'm loving it here." Chatting away with some of the other neighbours, and there's this one neighbour in particular who you always see in their garden. They're always into the gardening, and I was chatting to her, and she was like, "Your hanging baskets are looking lovely." I said, "Are they? They are, aren't they?" She said, "Yeah, they're the best in the street."
Hey.
And I was like, "Yeah, I'm winning the hanging basket competition." She said, "They're even better than his over the road." I was like, "Yes, yes, I'm winning."
Are those the ones with the picotet?
The Picotet and the non-stop begonias, the ones that stay
Belgian
upright,
ones, the big giant
and then the Belgian around the edges.
Yeah, I've seen them on social media.
They look good, don't they?
What I love about it, you put your money where your mouth is as well, because you said you were going to do it, and you did it, and they look amazing.
They did. I was a bit worried the combination wasn't going to quite work, but it really does.
Yeah, it does.
A little bit of
good.
lobelia in there just to break it up.
That secret competition of hanging baskets, you get a similar sort of thing at Christmas time with outdoor Christmas lights. Yeah. That's the thing in our street. Ourselves and our neighbours opposite, Andy and Denise. Every year we we start planning in August. And John was like, "Don't tell them the extra thing we've got this year. Don't let them know the extra thing we've got. It needs to be a surprise." And then they get something extra. It's like, oh, they've outdone us.
You've got to go shopping and
Got
get
to go
something
shopping
else.
again, yeah.
Anyway. Enough diverting. Let's move on, because we've changed this table over. We've got some new things to show you. So if you have just joined us, where have you been? We've been here for 2 hours. You are always very welcome, obviously. You can watch the show back at any point as well. If you go on YouTube, in fact, if you watch it on YouTube, you could just rewind from this point and start again if you want to. And then you can just watch the bits you want. Skip out me where I disappear off on a tangent somewhere.
Does that mean you become younger if you do that as well?
I'd love it if that was the case. But you have missed a few deals, so do skip back and have a little look. But you have joined us at a really good time, in actual fact, because we've just changed over and we're starting to talk about some new things. One of which is the Imperator, the red barren blood grass. Oh my word, we've got another one of these deals. So this is a buy one, get two free. Basically, it's £9.97, but you will get 3. You're saving £20 here, so they should be £9.99 each. But it's That is correct, isn't it? Yeah. But it's £9.97, and you are going to get all 3 of these. £2.99 a plant if you're in the club. Wowza!
Yeah, it is a good grass, and I've got this grass in my garden. Not that you'd know, because I'm an idiot and I didn't take a picture. But and as I drove out of my estate this morning, a neighbour on the left-hand side has got this in their front garden, and it's now about 18 inches, 2 foot tall. Oh, it looks good.
It's quite tactile grass, isn't it?
Yeah.
I do always find myself doing this with grasses. You do want to stroke them and touch them.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing about grasses, and and it does look absolutely stunning, that grass, because it's the contrast again of colour. The fact that the base of the grass can almost be that limey green colour, and then you get to the top of it. I mean, how does this? Nature's incredible, Bex, isn't it? Really, you get to the top of the grass, and then it's that kind of blood red kind of colour. And
beautiful.
I'm just kind of guessing. I mean, this is totally made up out of the top of my head, but I'm kind of guessing this might be kind of an evolutionary sort of thing this grass has done. It's made its top look that sort of colour.
So it doesn't get eaten.
Doesn't get eaten. It looks unattractive to animals.
Yeah.
So, it keeps it nice and green at the base where it can photosynthesise. And then it's I'm going to make that top a really sort of ugly looking colour to animals. So they're going to walk past and just munch on the grass that's all nice and green. But, sort of their loss is our gain, because we love these contrasting sort of colours, don't we? And this grass likes sort of quite a nice open, sunny position. I've got mine in reasonably damp soil, but it doesn't matter if it sort of dries a little bit. And it will spread gradually over the years, but not in a really bad way. It's not going to be one of these really invasive grasses. It's going to come up between everything, and you rue the day that you planted it. It's sort of, as you can see there, it does form sort of a nice clump. Fabulous for a pot. So if you're just 3 floors up and then you've got a balcony, got it in, then you can grow it in a pot if you haven't got a garden. But it does well in the garden, and I've actually got it grown with another grass as well. You can leave it through the winter. Don't bother cutting it down in the winter.
Have to, do you?
Just leave it, because it looks quite structural through the winter, and then sort of late-ish spring, mid to late spring, just take the top dead grass off. Not too low though. Don't go below sort of 3 or 4 inches. Otherwise you chop off the new emerging shoots that are coming up through the middle, and just sit back and enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a beautiful one. Definitely wants a sunny spot though. If you want that bright red colour, it'll be fine in a more shady spot. But if you want that bright red colour, it does do better in a sunny spot. 560017 is the item number. A lot of packs of 3, which is the perfect planting. We love odd numbers. It does really, really work if you do those packs of 3. So £9.97, buy 1 get 2 free is ultimately what the deal is there. Now, you found this deal. We should have got to this earlier, shouldn't we? This is an absolutely incredible deal. This is what we're calling our classic ground cover rose collection. You're going to get 3 of these. They're all in the 9cm pots. They've all got flowers on at the moment. This is amazing, and it is a half-price deal. You're going to get all 3 of these for £7.49. 530247 is the item number. If you haven't found it already, you need to go. You need to enter that into your basket as well, because I think that is almost a deal of the week. It's almost in the realms of our Salvia lips. That is absolutely incredible. What have you got to tell us about the ground cover roses,
Well,
Adam?
these are ground cover roses, and the clues in the name, they really will sort of be ground covering. So if you want to keep weeds at bay, if you've got sort of a large area you want to cover easily and cheaply and simply, but you want continuous colour, you want fragrance, you want something tough. Look at that. I mean, it will take a few years to get to that stage, but that looks absolutely amazing. And these are roses that grow wider than they do tall. So they're going to get about sort of 70 centimetres in height, but they're going to spread up to about 90 to 100 centimetres in width. So they will cover a decent space. We've got 3 varieties here for you as well. We've got teeny weeny pink and teeny weeny white. And these are multiflora ones. And we've got one called Perle del Canard. That's my best French pronunciation. I can do.
Yeah, I'm not good at French either.
Yeah, so three different lovely roses, pink, white and red, easily, in the simple terms. And they're what's called multiflora roses, so you get many, probably hundreds of flowers when these eventually become fully established. Small flowers, but in huge clusters, covering the foliage. These have got good disease resistance. You don't even really need to fiddle about pruning these particularly. You can just sort of just slightly prune them back a little bit, just any crisscrossing stems. They're not like hybrid teas or floribundas where you have to get quite technical about pruning. just sort of take the dead flower stems off. If there's any, say, criss-crossy branches or any dead branches, trim them out, but just leave them to do their thing.
It's amazing, and at half price deal, that is absolutely fantastic. 530247 is the item number. All three of those are included in there, so you don't need to pick your colour. They will all come in that box for you. Do remember all of our packaging is fully recyclable as well. For anybody that's new, we don't often bring the packaging in because, I mean, there's loads of different shapes and sizes, but that's the point. There are loads of different shapes and sizes. Depending on the size of plant that we are sending out to you, we have the right packaging. We've also got extra support that's put into the boxes, those little like air pockets. They'll be packed into the box around the plant as well, just to hold it nice and secure. So, obviously it can be a bit daunting if you've never bought plants that are going to be delivered in the post before, but do feel confident in the fact that we've been doing it for a long time. We've got various different shapes and sizes of packaging to make sure that it gets to you in the best condition it can, and it's all recyclable as well, which is fantastic.
I love those air pad things.
I know. I like popping them.
Yeah, I'll just put them down on the ground.
Stamp on
and
them.
then I'm like a kid. Pop,
but they can go into your soft plastics recycling, so that's a good thing.
I've had some stuff come recently in those kind of S-shape sort of foam sort of things that they pack stuff with, and they were water dissolvable. So
yes, I've seen
those.
From
starch,
yes,
I think.
I've seen
so
those.
There was masses of them, these blue S-shaped things, and I just put that water in the sink. I just tipped the whole lot in the sink, and they just all
dissolved.
Just dissolved
Down the drain.
Down the drain. Go.
Brilliant.
Yeah, they were just made of starch. So
love it.
No landfill. Brilliant.
Where did we come to that? Oh, because I was talking about fully recyclable packaging.
And
there you go.
And you can tell we've moved out of plug season now because we haven't got any packaging, have we? Normally,
no.
We're in the plug season. We have all the little greenhouses laid out, don't we, with the plugs in. So.
Well, they do come to you very well secure. So, but if there's ever a problem, just get in touch with our customer services. But generally, we've got the packaging in place to make sure that they are delivered and they get to you in a safe condition. Now we're going to go into a classic and absolutely beautiful, and the poppies that are out at the moment. No, I think Sue said it's brand new. We've only had it this season. I just meant a red poppy. I think is very classic. I've been seeing it is new to us this year. This particular plant, this variety. Yes, you're absolutely right. But I just think that in the poppy world, the red poppy is just an absolute classic, isn't it? Obviously, it has massive meaning to us with remembrance and things like that as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful plant to have in your garden, whether it's just to add into your garden or maybe, like with roses, people often plant roses for a significance, for a meaning. Elaine sent us a picture of a rose earlier that was for an anniversary. It can be a memorial rose, or it can be because you got married, or there's a reason behind it. I think you can do the same with poppies, and particularly red ones. Yeah,
definitely poppies, because this is a perennial poppy that will come up year after year after year. It's like a papava. It's one of the Orientalis kind of poppies. So there's been a problem, and this sounds like a negative, but there has been a big problem in recent years with these poppies succumbing to a disease that's actually wiped a lot of them out. Good thing is, just like with the busy lizzies that had that problem, this one, the red rumble, is much more resistant to that disease problem. So, you can confidently grow Oriental poppies again, or this variety, sort of knowing, this one is going to keep going year after year after year. And also, what they've done with this particular one, it's been bred in a way that the foliage stays greener and lasts longer even after the flowers are finished. Because, again, traditionally, a lot of Oriental poppies, pretty much after they're finished flowering, a bit like alliums, the foliage kind of died down quite quickly. So it sort of would leave a gap in your border, which would be a bit annoying. This one, you've got those lovely kind of furry sort of leaves that will still look quite good even after the main flowering period. But sometimes with Oriental poppies, you can actually just prune them back a little bit, clip them back a bit after flowering. If you give them a good liquid feed with something like a tomato feed, quite often you can get them to repeat flower and come back again, flower a little later in the year. But this one has got those lovely kind of I was going to say crimpled. I don't mean... Is that a word? Crimpled? Petals?
Yeah, well, I know what you mean.
Crimped, these lovely crimped petals. It's got that dark black centre, but look at those little blotches, little black blotches on the petals as well. That adds interest to it. And the centre of that, Bex, it almost reminds me a little bit of the passion flower. It's got that kind of... all those different kind of shapes and layers and textures, isn't it? So you look into these are really, really interesting. And they're quite unusual in the way they sort of open out, because you can go out in your garden late one afternoon, early evening, and you can just see the bud starting to split, and you'll just see a streak of red.
Love it.
And then you go out the next day, and
So
almost
exciting.
overnight, it's sort of popped open. And when the flowers first open, they're really sort of creased and all sort of crimpled up where they've been sort of stuck inside the bud. And then as they open up, the petals gradually smooth out, and they just give you this big rosette of flower. These are really magnificent flowers. They're very, very hardy, really drought tolerant. Will be great for the mid to front of the border, come up year after year, just fabulous plants.
Love it, yeah, and it is on a half price deal, so £14.99. All three of those included. 561213 is the item number if you'd like to go for that lovely bright red gorgeous poppy that we've got there. Can we go and see Dave's garden? Can we see Dave's dahlias? Oh
Wow, look at them.
I love that one.
That's like a pom-pom type, isn't it, that one? That's what called pom-pom type.
Just love those two
Look at
colours
that.
on there. That's incredible. But as a mixture in with all the others as well. There's 3 pictures to show you. But those are looking amazing. Loads of buds there as well. And that is... I love this one. So this is a gorgeous, soft, pink, pale tones. And then that lovely yellow in the centre as well. I've no idea what all these are called. There's too many dahlia names for me to remember all of them.
There are thousands and thousands of dahlia varieties.
But that one's really pretty. Oops, sorry, don't look at that. And then, number 3 of the pictures that Dave has sent us. They are looking absolutely beautiful. Have you supported those in any way, Dave? I can't see any supports in that. Oh, is that a cane? Yeah, I can just see a cane in there, look. I think you've given them a bit of help. I packed mine in really tight together, hoping they would all hold each other up.
Yeah, which they can do.
And to a certain extent they have, but I have had to get out there and put a few canes in and tie them in a little bit just to keep them upright.
People many moons ago used to eat dahlia tubers.
Yes.
Yeah, they were actually... people used to eat dahlia tubers before we used to eat potatoes.
Well, potatoes are tubers.
Yeah,
so
the same
you
thing.
can actually... Yeah.
The only thing with dahlia was they gave you a really, really shocking wind when you ate dahlia tubers. And it was kind of weird because when spuds come along, people go, oh no, I'm not eating potatoes. What are those alien kind of witchcraft vegetables? But of course, we've gone the other way now. So, and they all originate from the same part of the world, South America.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Was it Sir Francis Drake who brought them back?
I think it... Didn't he bring back tobacco as well, I think?
Oh, well, he's not my friend.
I think tobacco and spuds.
Ugh, I'll take the spuds.
Yeah.
And take his tobacco back.
But don't eat your dahlia tubers.
No, please don't. We're not recommending.
No, we're not recommending it.
Let's move on next, shall we? We had the beautiful picture. Was it Elaine who sent the picture? I can't remember. Somebody who sent the picture. Alison? Somebody who's going to steal the plant from next door.
The Agapanthus.
The Agapanthus, with permission, obviously. Yes, it was Alison who sent the Agapanthus picture in. Let me find it again, because if Alison's watching now, she'll be able to see. There it is, yeah, the Agapanthus, which is looking incredible. The Agapanthus africanus blue is what we're going to move on to next. And they are incredible when these are in full bloom, and you get multiple flower spikes off here, and you can get so many, can't you?
Yeah, I mean, the flower heads on these can get almost kind of small football size. I mean, they really, really are huge. And of course, what you've got on here, I mean, it's not just a single flower. It's probably dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of single flowers on the top of one stem. They remind me of those fireworks. You know when you go to a firework display and you hear that big thud, and then you look up, you look up, you look up, and then they explode in that perfect spherical kind of shape. That's what these flower heads are like, these great big spheres of blue flowers, deep, deep blue flowers that look so magnificent. And you can see in that picture they were grown along the base of a wall, and that gives you an indication of what Africanus Agapanthus, I forgot the name then for a minute. Agapanthus actually
it's written right there, written right there.
Yeah, they actually like full sun. And a base of a south-facing wall is absolutely fantastic because that's really warm. You get the heat emanating from the wall, especially at night. And quite often those areas are very well drained because they hate heavy, wet soil. They like really light, well-drained soil. That's why they do very well in places like Norfolk and Suffolk and coastal areas and places like that because they like the really sandy soil. Fabulous pot plants, grow amazingly well in pots. So if you grow these in a pot and they like being root-bound, if you're in a really, really cold area, because they do need a little bit of protection in a really cold winter, you can bring them indoors, just keep them frost free. But that extra bit of effort is so worthwhile because right now, Agapanthus are just looking remarkable.
They look incredible, yeah. It was Alison that sent us this picture. Now, it actually belongs to a neighbour, that's her neighbour's garden, who's moving house and can't take them with her. So Alison's considering going and digging that up and putting it in her garden. I would be considering exactly the same thing. Look how beautiful that is. Look how many flowers are on there. That is a very, very happy plant. I've seen a few around where I live, actually, where people have planted them, and it looks similar to that, like in front gardens, in those gravel bits. They look absolutely incredible. You will get 3 of those 9cm pots in this particular deal as well. 560882 is the item number, and it is just £11.99 for all 3 of them.
And if, by the way, if you dug that one up, you could probably split that into 4 or 5
Oh, you totally could,
individual plants. To be honest, you could make 1 become 5.
Nice. I want to see the results of that. Right, let's move on. The eucalyptus. This is the guni azura. Now, this is a nice small eucalyptus, isn't it? So this is the sort of thing I need for my nose at the moment. Yeah. This is definitely the sort of plant that I would be able to put into my garden.
That's quite subtle, that one. That's not. We had one on the other day which was stronger smelling.
Yeah, that is quite subtle.
But this one not quite so. Yeah, just...
No, I don't know. No, this one should... Hang on. Let's go for a smaller leaf, see if that makes a difference.
Yeah,
yeah, the smaller leaf.
The one
go
from
for
the
a smaller
top.
leaf.
At the top?
It's way more eucalyptus on a smaller leaf.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting that now. Yep. But, look at this. You want an evergreen shrub, you got one.
Yeah.
But I can hear you all saying eucalyptus.
I can't plant that in my garden, it's too big.
Yeah, you're kind of doing that kind of, that sort of thing, and you're like keeping vampires away from your garden.
It's like you just said the word bamboo to me.
Yeah, exactly. This one will only get to about 5 metres tall eventually. So it's not going to be like one of these crazy eucalyptus that can get 40, 50 foot tall, and then you've got the tree surgeon in to cut it down because it's just gone berserk. This one is slow growing. It's only going to get to 5 metres tall. It's hardy to minus 20 degrees Celsius. So it's pretty much going to get through any British winter in pretty much any part of the UK. It's got these nice, interesting leaves, these opposite leaves that actually kind of are in pairs all the way down the stem. Look at the stem. The stem's got a lovely reddish coloration to it there as well. And then some of these leaves have got almost like a sort of a waxy kind of white cuticle on them as well. And that's indicative of where this plant would grow normally, which is obviously somewhere like Australia or somewhere like that. And that kind of whitish, waxy coating is a sun protection. It prevents the plant from drying out and being fried by intense sun. So if you want an evergreen plant, if you want a eucalyptus that's not going to become a thug, that's not going to become a problem, you've got perhaps a place for it in the middle of the lawn, in a centre of a border, perhaps in the centre of your front garden. You want to make it a feature plant. This would be magnificent. It will get through every British winter. Very drought tolerant. You don't really need to prune it. Well, you could shape it if you want to, but you could pick some of the foliage for flower arranging, because flower arrangers absolutely adore.
You said exactly what I was just about to say. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a great sort of foliage filler for those displays that you can bring indoors. And I actually quite like, not just for flower arrangements, but foliage arrangements. I've seen a lot of that happening more and more lately, where people are just literally taking foliage and creating gorgeous indoor displays. No flowers involved at all. And that can be really incredible, can't it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think, look at that. Again, look at the root system. Every time, look, I haven't pulled this out the pot at all today, but I've whipped it out the pot, and then that fabulous root system. But yeah, Bex, I mean, I can quite believe that as well, about foliage-only sort of flower displays, if you like, because where we've gone through today, and we've just seen so much just fabulous foliage colour, haven't we? And just putting that together would create colour in itself. And we've not even got to the hydrangea, euphorbia,
I mean, there's so many.
pink, have we, and stuff like that.
So the euphorbia, we've got the Photinia red robin, we've got the eucalyptus, and you can see how those foliage displays can work really gorgeously. No flowers involved at all.
You don't need them.
Right, let's give you a reminder of everything that you've seen on this table. We're going to start off with ground cover roses. We have to, because that is a phenomenal deal. £7.49. It is a half price deal. You will get all three of those roses included. The red, the white and the pink. They grow wider than they do tall, basically, which is very different to your other roses. They grow taller than they do wide. So this is great at filling in those borders. You've got some gaps there, then plant one of these in there. That's going to be absolutely beautiful. What's it called? It's called a multiflora. So you get loads and loads of roses on here. They're slightly smaller roses than you will get on your hybrid teas and your floribunda roses, but you get lots of them. Less work, less maintenance than other roses that you will buy. Absolutely beautiful. 530247. Definitely one that you have found. I do hope everybody is starting to add that into their baskets because that is incredible. Red poppy is next, the red rumble. 3 9-centimetre pots in there. It is new this year. It is a half price deal as well on here. Adam was telling us how disease resistant this one can be as well. You've got those gorgeous sort of markings on there, that classic dark splotch in the centre. A beautiful shade of red there as well. 561213 is the item number if you would like to go for that one. Staying with the red theme, we have the Imperator Red Baron Bloodgrass, another 3 9-centimetre pot deal here. And this is an even better than half price saving. This is a buy one, get two free, essentially, is the deal you've got here, because you will get 3 of them for £9.97 rather than nearly £30. 560017 is the item number if you'd like to go for that. I'm just hearing somebody's basically just bought one of everything in the show, which is lovely. I want to come and see your garden because that's going to be amazing. Oh, maybe there's nothing in it at all, and that's why you're buying one of everything. I'd love to see the results of that, though. All right, so next is the pair of spiral stem Patio olive trees. Now, one of the higher priced items in our show, admittedly, but a big saving on there, £20 saving, and definitely a big saving to what you will see out there, you know, in the world. They are incredibly expensive normally, so I think to get 2 for 30 quid each, basically, £59.98 is incredible. If you're in the club, it works out at £27 each. That is an amazing price. Of course, remember to use the code YGTV3124. That's how you're going to unlock all of these deals, all of these savings, and that's also how you are going to get your free gift included into your order. It's 1 free gift per order, not 1 free gift per customer. So if you place multiple orders, you'll get multiple free gifts. These also already come in the sort of deco pots. They are sort of faux terracotta. So if you want to leave them in there, you absolutely can. If you want to plant them up into something else, you absolutely can. But they work beautifully in those pots and will do for some time. You won't need to put those on very quickly. 680308 is the item number. Now we have some of the other amazing deals that we have brought you. Bowls Mauve, it's a 3-deal pack, a 3-pack deal even. 3 9-centimetre pots, buy one, get 2 free. 560069 is the item number, and that is an amazing plant. I don't know of a plant that flowers for longer. Like I keep thinking, I'll probably find one at some point, but honestly, 9-10 months of flowers you get out of that, you know, good amount of flowers. Mine actually have flowers every single month of the year. 1 or 2 only in December, but still flowers, leaving you with the gorgeous kind of evergreen foliage there as well. Really reliable and really easy. So I highly recommend Bowls Mauve going into your basket.
Quite warm, isn't it?
It's starting to warm up, Adam.
It's warming, yeah.
It's definitely starting to warm up as we get to lunchtime. I think the temperatures are going to skyrocket this afternoon again. Here's another one that I highly recommend that I have in my garden that is evergreen, that looks amazing, that is that gorgeous darker foliage colour, really valuable for highlighting the other plants in your garden, but also for highlighting the lime green coloured flowers that you get on the Euphorbia minus merlot. Another great one here actually for inviting ladybirds into your garden. Never knew that before I got one. Once I got my Euphorbia minus merlot planted and I go out and have a look at it, the number of ladybirds that are on it, there's something in it that they adore. So it's a great one to get those beneficial bugs into your garden because they'll eat all the aphids, so you want those. 3 9-centimetre pots, buy one, get 2 free is ultimately the deal there again. 511386 is the item number. Next, okay, so this is part of the mix and match. So we've got 6 items in the mix and match, buy one, get one free. All of them are 2-litre pots. This is the most popular of the 2 litre pot mix and match, buy one get one free. 560717 is the item number. It's the Rudbeckia goldsturm. It is a fantastic plant for giving you later season colour. It's budding up and coming into flower just now, and it keeps going all the way through August, September into October as well. So this helps you to extend that summer flowering season. A reliable, hardy perennial that just gets better and better over the years. Adam took 3 little pots and it's really turned into a beautiful display for him now. Here we're going to go to the website because that's just one of our buy one get one free. So go to YouGarden.com, go to the Live Now button, might be in the bottom right if you're on the phone, but go up here if you're on the website on a laptop or computer. Scroll down till you see the Rudbeckia there, and then underneath are the foxgloves. You've got the painted lady fern, you've got the delphinium magic mountain, the copper shield and the hairy lip there as well. So yeah, it starts at the copper shield, hairy lip, Rudbeckia. Onto the next line, you've got the foxglove, painted lady and the delphinium. Ignore those prices. Go to the basket, put one in, put the code in YGTV 3124. It will be $9.99 when you get through to the basket. Enter another one in, you'll get the next one absolutely free. So if you want to get all 6, put one of each into your basket. You'll get 3 of those absolutely free as long as you use that code that you can see on the screen there, YGTV 3124. Would be less than £30 for all 6 of those. That's a great price, isn't it?
Yeah, because perennials and stuff, they're going out at $6.99, $7.99, $8.99.
Yeah.
I've seen some garden centres do $12.99 now for perennials in 2 or 3 litre pots.
That's the great thing with watching us here at YGTV, and if you're watching, you already know that you're in the right place. Right, let's carry on because we've done tayberries, which I think is the only grow your own we've had today so far. Yes, it is. Now we're going to move on to cherries, which is part of our grow your own. So we have so many. If you're into, growing your own food, tomatoes and strawberries and apples and pears and oranges and lemons. We've got so many in our range of the grow your owns. But this one is, you can grow your own cherries, but it can stay nice and small.
It can, and I'm going to set you a challenge on this, Bex, as well, because I want you to show me where it's grafted onto the rootstock.
Oh my, are you tricking me? There is no trick. There is no graft.
Exactly. This.
Okay, he's tricking me. There is no graft on there.
Exactly. This is a truly miniature cherry in its own right.
Excellent. So cherry trees, I mean, the term cherry picker is there for a reason, because you have to get those really tall vehicles, because cherry trees normally grow really tall. You have to get up on one of those to be able to pick the cherries. Not this one.
And not this one, because sometimes when we talk about fruit trees, we talk about apples or pears or whatever, we talk about having a dwarf rootstock.
Yes,
so they've been grafted onto that dwarf rootstock that keeps them small. This just naturally remains small. It just doesn't get big in its own right. It'll get to about 2 metres tall eventually.
Which is tiny for a cherry tree.
Exactly, yeah.
Bush
so
tree.
you're always going to be able to pick the fruit on this.
You can stand and pick it. I mean, yeah, you don't need a cherry picker. You don't need. Yeah.
Tall as a doorway, as Stu said, and you can look. Look there, you can see here, look. I mean, these obviously being grown commercially because, again, people haven't got to invest in cherry pickers, they haven't got to worry about all the health and safety aspects of people going up ladders and things like that. Also, it's easy to keep the birds off of this as well. You can net these very, very easily to prevent the birds eating them. And just a little word on that as well. Just be careful what sort of netting you use. I mean, try and use fleece or something like that, but always check the kind of netting is bird friendly, so that birds don't actually get caught in the netting. But it just means you can protect that fruit really, really easily, and you get to eat the cherries, the birds don't. Up to 5 kilograms worth of fruit per plant as well.
Yeah. Once it gets established, you can get loads of this, can't you?
Yeah, and that is a lot of cherries, 5 kilograms worth.
Of course, you're going to get that lovely blossom as well.
You'll get the blossom.
It's really gorgeous scent to it too.
Oh, I'm just laughing to myself because was it you who did that really weird thing of going into a supermarket and you bought some...
No, it was Sean.
Oh, was it Sean?
So it was Sean. So he went into a supermarket and he bought a punnet of cherries. didn't really think about it, paid. It was like, hang on, that's a bit expensive. And then, yeah, he checked the price, and half of what he paid for his basket was these cherries because they were so expensive.
Yeah, and they can be. You know, cherries, there's not a very long season for cherries, so you can pay a premium, but, you know, this is a long-lived plant. This is a plant that's a naturally small...
decades out of this, right?
Oh,
I mean,
God,
that'll outlive all of us.
Absolutely. But what the good thing to know is in all that time, it's never going to get to about more than 2 metres tall, so you're never faced with that thing of trying to prune it. And cherry trees hate being pruned as well. They bleed very easily.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can get diseases, things like canker and stuff set in. So the fact this is never going to need to be harshly pruned, that you haven't got to get up on ladders and stuff to pick the fruit, that it's easy to protect the fruit from the birds. As Beck said, you've got the lovely spring blossom on this as well. You've got the lovely healthy foliage. So, you know, this is a really, really great plant, but just naturally dwarf.
I love the idea of this. This is why I need to move house. This is why I need a bigger garden. I got so many ideas of what I want to plant.
What's the phrase?
What? My fantasy garden.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna have tayberry. I'm gonna have cherry. I want to do all the grow your own. I want to. Oh.
It's almost going to be a bit like Alice in Wonderland.
I need my lottery win. It has to happen because I tell you what, my garden, it's going to be amazing.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I win multi-millions, I'll give you $1 million.
Would you?
I would, yeah. Of course I would. If I won 180 million, I'd give you $1 million.
I'd look after you too.
I'd give you $1 million. Why wouldn't I?
300176 is the item number. Oh, Stu said I could hire you as my gardener. I'd pay you lots, though.
You think I'd still be working if I win £180 million? I don't think so. I'll be hiring my own gardeners.
300176 is the item number if you would like to go for our cherry bush. This is the pothos. It is going to stay nice and compact for you. It's a half price deal. That's definitely not one that needs thinking about. Let's move on to our hibiscus sugar tips. This is a beautiful hibiscus. Absolutely fascinating, not just because of the flowers on this one, though.
Yeah, because we've got that sort of variegation on the edge of the leaves. We've got those white edges to the leaves, that little white margin on the edge there.
It's got variegation, hasn't it?
Yeah, which is quite unusual for hibiscus, really. And a much sort of finer leaf than the general hibiscus leaf. So it's been a real thing today, isn't it, foliage? We've, you know, lots and lots of interest today with foliage, not just green leaves. You know, you can see all the sort of different coloured leaves on this. You can just see on that picture there, on that sort of the right-hand side, you've got that leaf there, that lovely kind of little bit of variegation on there as well. And as the plant matures and gets bigger, that variegation becomes more obvious. Look at that, you can see it on the edge there. I just love that kind of gentle bit of variegation you get on the edge of a leaf as well. And of course, because you grow these in a really, really sunny position, that's going to enhance that variegation, because on a plant, on a leaf, the variegated plant of the leaf cannot photosynthesize. So it's
easy for you to say.
Yeah, not really. Push those teeth back in. Can't easily photosynthesize. So the green part of the leaf has to feed the variegated part of the leaf. Yeah, just a little bit of trivia there. On these as well, you get these incredible flowers on this one.
Well, I was just pointing that out because actually the flowers that come through are going to be a more pale pink colour, but I really quite like how the buds are appearing and they're this sort of ruby colour. So I think they're going to open into a sort of darker colour and then fade to that lovely pink, which I mean, I love it.
It's a bit like the oleanders, because just grab one of these oleanders, because it's weird that our plants have sort of similar habits.
Darker bud and then open up to that.
You look at that oleander
colour.
flower on there, for example, you know, that oleander flower there is really quite a dark sort of pink, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then, you know, once that opens, then you can see that's a much sort of darker reddish pink.
I like it.
And then once it opens, you know, you get to that sort of paler colour there. And the hibiscus do the same. And I quite like that. Viburnums do that as well. Eve Price, that's another one that, you know, that starts off really pink kind of buds, and then they go pure white. So it's double interest, isn't it, really, to get that sort of reddish sort of bud, and then that bursts open, and you get this super, super double flower there. These are super hardy. I mean, I think on the YouGarden website it says about -10, but these can go down to -20. They really, really are tough.
Yeah, they're pretty tough things, aren't they? And they naturally grow into this gorgeous kind of goblet shape, which is what I love about hibiscus. So minimal pruning. You know, some branches might cross and rub, but generally they grow into that lovely kind of natural shape. So it just takes your workload down a little bit.
Late summer colour, you know, these shrubs kick in and start flowering when probably 80% of the shrubs in the garden have already finished flowering.
511 51073 if you would like to go for the hibiscus sugar tip. It is saving £10, so it's £14.99 on that one. Let's give you a little reminder, shall we, of our buy one get one frees, because they seem to be being very popular today. So it's a mix and match, buy one get one free. You can choose which ones. You can get two of the same if you want to. If you want, that's absolutely fine, but if you want two different ones, you can. All you need to do is put the two you want into your basket, enter the code YGTV3124. One of them will be free. You can buy as many of you as you like. Just make sure you buy in even numbers so you get an even amount of them that are free. Dryopteris erythrosora. This is the copper shield fern, 561200, £9.99 in the 2 litre pot, exactly the same as all of our mix and match buy one get one frees. And this one is gorgeous with the coppery pink tones that you get on the foliage there. Next we have the hairy lip fern in the 2 litre pot. Slightly, the foliage on here has a kind of matte finish to it, whereas the copper shield and the painted lady has a more shiny touch to it. This is what I love about ferns, though, is the fact that you've got different textures, different colours, different sizes, and that is why they work so beautifully planted together and en masse. 561204 is the item number if you go to the hairy lip, if you want to go for the hairy lip fern. Surprisingly today, the painted lady is the least favourite, which I'm very, very surprised about. But this is one of, I think, the most stunning of the ferns that we have brought you. You get greens, but you also get, it ages and turns into these lovely silvers. You get purples, you get slight pinky tones in there as well. It's definitely an eye-catching fern, one that goes to the front because it's a little bit shorter, about 40 centimetres, but it will spread. I think it goes by at least double that, 80 centimetres, maybe even up to a metre for each of these as well. So great ground cover. This one is one that disappears over the winter though, whereas the others are more evergreen or semi-evergreen. This one does disappear. Totally worth it though for the displays you get from this one. £9.99 is the item. Is the price. Buy one get one free. Mix and match. You don't have to have two the same. You can get two completely different plants. Those were the 3 ferns in the buy one get one free. Here we've got the Rudbeckia in the buy one get one free. This is the 2 litre pot, so it's a bit more established than the 9 centimetre pot ones we've been bringing you. Gorgeous display on here, really sort of later flowering, just starting to come into flower and bud now, but then continuing through into September and October. So a great one for extending that summer season of interest. 560717 is the item number if you'd like to go for the Rudbeckia goldsturm. We've got the foxglove. This is the digitalis dalmatian. That's the one that's got those sort of spots inside the flower. It's a landing pad for those bees. They absolutely adore it. You'll always see a little bee bottom just sort of wiggling out the back of one of those flowers because they adore these so much. 511553 is the item number if you'd like to go for the foxglove as one of the buy one get one frees. Also, we have the delphiniums, or last in the buy one get one free, you have the delphinium magic fountain. It is a sort of lucky dip as far as the colour that you will receive. They're all beautiful, so I don't think it really, I mean, hopefully it doesn't matter to you. It is a lucky dip. It is only £9.99. It is a buy one, get one free. And you can get 2 if you want to, or you could mix and match with any of those other items that I have shown you. 511552 for your delphinium, if that is what you want to go for. Oh, you definitely want to go for some strolch. If you're going for your delphiniums, do what I'm saying now. Please, get yourself some strolch. Make sure you put a lovely bed of that around it and over the top of it at the end of the season. Unfortunately, I was stupid last year and I did not do that with my delphiniums. I was like, it'll be all right. Be fine. It wasn't fine. None of my delphiniums came up this year. I think I planted about 4 last year and they did not come up because I think they got munched by the slugs. So do please think about getting yourself some strolch because you want those gorgeous flowers to come back.
Actually, a few seconds back in that clip, there are actually some delphiniums. Yeah, if you just roll back, there are actually some delphiniums in that clip.
Oh, the one with the border?
Any second now as we go back along this border.
Hang on, it's going to come back round again. Here we go, there's a lupin, yeah, you're
there you go.
There, just at the back.
There's delphiniums.
There is a lupin as well, though.
There's delphiniums there, in the top right of the picture.
Yeah.
Not a slug bite on them.
Not a slug bite at all.
No.
Thing is, once they're established, the slugs don't tend to go to them.
No.
It's the new growth that they like on the delphiniums.
The soft growth.
The soft, fleshy, they
Yeah.
love that. So yeah, get yourself some of those.
A bit like us. I mean, we'd eat asparagus shoots when they're that tall. But,
I haven't had asparagus in ages.
if they got that tall, we definitely wouldn't
I'm
like them,
having
would
that
we?
for tea tonight.
Yeah, I've not had asparagus this year yet.
I
love
asparagus with a nice soft boiled egg.
Yeah. Oh.
And then if you can get some Parma ham and just lightly grill it so it goes a little bit crispy and then put that out.
Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah.
And some balsamic glaze. Oh, then my mouth just properly watered then.
I actually like a little bit of garlic as well sometimes.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in heaven right now. Can you tell it's lunchtime? I'm hungry. I've got satay noodles for me lunch.
Oh, that's nice.
Quite looking forward to it.
I've got a milkshake. Well, it's not yet milk actually. It's a veggie based. Soy shake, yeah. It's just, soya based.
I'm sure that's fine. I like my oat milk, so.
Yeah, I like oat milk.
Ooh, I need to remind you of the Miners Merlot. Euphorbia Miners Merlot. This is the triple pack. 3 9cm pots included in here. Fantastic price on this one. We've got so many of these deals. The 3 9cm pots that are £9.99. It's a buy one, get two free. Because these should be £9.99 each. It's £9.99 and you're getting 3 of those included. And Euphorbia Miners Merlot. Oh, I mean, it is just a fantastic plant to put in your garden. It is tough, resilient, it's gorgeous burgundy coloured foliage, you get these lovely lime green flowers. It brings so many ladybirds into your garden. I was amazed how many ladybirds I found on this plant. And as an award-winning, multi-award-winning garden designer, he's won 4 golds
4 gold
at
medals,
Chelsea.
Chelsea Flower Show, a couple of
silvers he
some
doesn't
silver
like
gilts.
talking about. Don't like talking about those ones.
3 BBCRHS People's Awards.
Yeah, so someone who really knows what he's doing when it comes to garden design and planting. Euphorbia is something that you choose to plant in other people's gardens.
Yeah, definitely, because euphorbias are dramatic, they're different, they're hardy, they're drought tolerant, they come up year after year, they've got this wonderful foliage colour, they've got unusual flowers. There's just no downsides to euphorbias,
There isn't,
really.
is there?
I mean, just one little thing I will say is if you ever deadhead a euphorbia, just wear gloves and avoid getting the sap on your skin. But other than that, you know, they're absolutely fabulous plants.
Yeah, they can just be a
plants.
bit of an irritant. So if you are particularly sensitive, then do wear gloves. I never do.
They say sometimes
I wash my
actually,
hands afterwards. I'm not sensitive skin though. So.
Well, they say sometimes deadhead them just after it's rained because what tends to happen is if you stick the stems into water, it kind of stems the flow of the sap almost immediately, kind of seals it. So, but honestly, it's no big deal. Just put a pair of gloves on.
Can
and
you
just be
propagate
careful.
Euphorbia?
I
don't know if you could
It's
you?
probably quite difficult to propagate euphorbia because they tend to grow from a taproot quite often, and I'm not sure.
I'm getting into propagating at the minute, so I'm just going to give it a go. I'll look it up.
I've never really. You could try and take cuttings, but yeah, I'll be honest. I know a lot of things, but that I couldn't swear to.
Yeah, it's fine. We can't know everything.
I was just thinking about the name Miners Merlot as well, because again, I mean, historically, was there a Merlot that miners used to drink?
I wonder. I do like looking up the etymology, where the names come from.
I mean, Merlot is a type of wine, isn't it? And I didn't know if that was a wine that was actually, enjoyed by a certain type of working group of people. Miners Merlot. Who knows?
I don't know. I'm going to look it up now.
It'd
though.
be interesting to find out where the name come from.
All right, let's move on, shall we? Which end do you want to start at, Stu? Bowls Mauve. Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about this absolutely phenomenally long flowering plant, shall we?
Yeah, crazy plant. I mean, both you and I, Bex, have experienced the longevity of the flowering on this because you in your own garden have seen it.
Yep.
I look after a show home, a number of show homes actually, for a building company, and one of their show home gardens in St Neots has got a row of these in the back garden in a not particularly sunny position. And you know what? I started looking after that garden, I think it was about April of last year. And we're now into August of this year, and I can't think of a month that I've gone there, and I've gone there every single month, that this hasn't been flowering at some point or another. Even in the winter time, even in sort of January and February and December, they were still flowering.
Yeah.
I'm not saying fabulously like the picture of Bex Bex's one here.
Thank you.
But they still
April,
had some they still have some colour on them. They really are just the most ridiculously long-flowered plant that I can think of, and there's such an intense, lovely purple colour, and quite often these colours really pop quite late in the day, in the evening, when the light levels start to go down. Quite often these lovely sort of purple colours actually come out.
Yeah, dull days or at dusk, the purple really does stand out. Yeah.
And these
and
are
on bright days as well.
But. Yeah, but these are actually a member of the brassica family as well. And if you think of brassicas, you're thinking about things like Brussels sprouts and cabbages and broccoli and all those kind of things. So, it's weird, isn't it, sometimes you would not kind of associate plants like that with something beautiful like this. But, related things like night-scented stocks and sort of the scented stocks,
yeah.
and all the same family. But, yeah, an absolutely glorious plant. And a little quick tip that Bex and I both mentioned as well. I know we always want to leave a flower shoot to the very, very, very last little flower. But if you just sacrifice the last 2 or 3 and clip that flower stem right back down, then you'll end up with all these little side shoots at the bottom starting to reshoot really, really quickly and just giving you that really dramatic display again.
Stu's just shouted, "There's a spider on it!" Adam doesn't like spiders,
no,
do you? So he jumped back then.
Did you see the way my hand came?
I saw it happen. "There's a spider!" Adam took his hand away quickly.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, I can just see it. It's up there.
It's a teeny tiny one.
It's at the top of one of these flowers. Which one is it?
There it is now. I can see
he is. He's going down the... Yeah. There he is.
You don't mind that spider, do you?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want it on me, but it doesn't bother me.
I love that you hate spiders and you're outside working with all these bugs all the time. Would you be jumping around? Like,
It was weird the other morning because John and I got to a job the other morning and we got in John's van, and John has these things he calls these van spiders, and he names them, and he leaves them in there and he didn't tell me. So we're sitting there having a tea break, and I'm just about to eat my tuna roll, and the next minute there's this great big spider on the dash in front of me.
And he's like, "Oh, it's Bertie."
I just went ape. Legs everywhere, all the food went up in the air, and I was about to dive out onto the road, forgetting there's like traffic coming down. Just what smells? Spider! I'm like a maniac. So
and John's like, "Leave him alone."
We just got a bit of tissue and moved him on. But I said to him, "Is that one of your van spiders?" He said, "I said, why? You didn't think to tell me?"
Get rid of him.
You got a husband who's totally and utterly, phobic about spiders, and you're keeping him in your flipping van as pets.
I wonder why he's doing that.
You better not be keeping him in the house, I'll tell you. Otherwise it'll be a divorce.
All right, moving on. Rudbeckia goldsturm is the next one that we're going to go to. So we've got the 2 litre available in the buy one get one free deals, but these are just a bit smaller. So these are in the 9 centimetre pots. You will get 3 of them. They will more than likely come to you with some buds or some flowers, and because you're planting them at this time of year, I'd like to think that you'll get some from them this year.
Oh, look at that.
They are slightly smaller plants, obviously, so these are going to get bigger and better over the years. This is the sort of size of plant that both Adam and I planted into our gardens and now have an absolutely gorgeous display. That was last year. I'm going to do another video when I go home to bring in on Sunday, because honestly it's looking fantastic this year. I think I got somewhere between 12 and 15 flowers at any one point on it last year. Counted the other day, I'm sure I counted 21 or 22. So you can see how it's getting bigger and better. So we'll be able to have those pictures to contrast and compare. They're fantastic plants.
And they grow quick, Rudbeckias. They establish really quick and they spread really quickly as well. They're a real vigorous, but in a good way, perennial that will just come up year after year. They originate from North America, so that tells you how hardy and tough they are.
Yeah, they're brilliant,
because they have some pretty cold winters in North America.
All right, yeah, do think about going for that one, or you've got the 2 litre option available in the buy one get one free if you'd like to go for that. $6.99 for 3 9 centimetre pots, or $9.99 for the 2 litre buy one get one free. Put 2 in your basket and you'll get that freebie there. I think the price comparison is very sort of similar. It just depends. What's your budget? What's the space you've got to put it in? It's up to you. Go for either one of those. They're both of them are great value. The next one though is probably the best value, best price we've got on anything on the show today, and that's why it is called the deal of the week. This is the Salvia Lips collection. All 3 All three of
Yeah,
these, £4.97.
Which is insane, and a fabulous colour collection on these as well. I mean, I love all those 3 different colours. They work so well together. If you want to put these in one big pot, they'd look absolutely magnificent.
Ooh, that would be nice.
You've got really, really fragrant foliage as well, which smells absolutely gorgeous. And this one here, this dark coloured one,
Amethyst.
that can actually paint because it's a Salvia d'Ordale.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that. I knew that was a joke. Could you hear? Stu is clapping him right now and laughing. You and Stu, you've both got. There's a tiny, just little change in the inflection in your voice.
I'll try and keep it more subtle
coming.
in future. No, can't paint. But
they started literally this morning. First thing, so we arrive at 8:30 in the morning, and they were both perky as anything. Craig was in here vacuuming the shed, and him and Stu were trading these one-liners.
we're so infantile.
This is what I have to deal with. Send help.
But no, I mean, these are knockout though, aren't they? And
they are knockout, yes.
And these come from the Mediterranean part of the world. These are a type of sage. These are a member of the sage family, so that's where you get that wonderfully fragrant foliage on there as well, which smells absolutely
Gerbera
glorious.
is just trying to get in on the action. I'm going to move Gerbera out of the way. There you go. Get out of the way. Let's try a photo bomb.
I love your hedge idea, Bex, on these.
I'm doing it. Yeah. I'm doing it. So down the side of my front driveway, I've got my lavender border at the moment. I'm trying to work out how long it is. It's maybe 5 metres, 6 metres. The lavender hedge has got filled with weeds. I've tried picking them out. There's nettles growing through it. There's all sorts. I can't get rid of them. It's doing my head in. I'm digging the lavender up. I'm propagating from it. Don't worry. I'm always going to have lavender in my garden. I know it can be heartbreaking to dig plants up, but I'm going to plant lavender elsewhere. I'm thinking about doing this. So if I bought, I could probably get away with 2 packs, but I'm an overplanter, so I'm going to get 3 packs. So that'd be less than £15. I'm in the club, so it'll be way less than £15. And plant those sort of close to each other.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you another question then. So you're going to do that. So are you going to go kind of in blocks of colour, or are you going to go random?
I don't think I'll go red. I'm not going to go so prescribed as cherry amethyst hot, cherry amethyst hot.
Right.
But I will mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
So I'll go cherry amethyst hot, amethyst hot cherry.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll mix it up a little bit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But then they'll grow into each other, so it'll look like they're all growing together. And they're so easy, plus they work in the same conditions as the lavender. I know I'm here to talk to you about your gardens, but I'm also planning my own garden.
The thing is, I mean, lavender is absolutely stunning, but you will get a longer flowering season out of these. A lot longer than lavender.
Yeah.
I mean, lavender flowers, 6 weeks? These could flower for sort of 4 or 5 months. I mean, these have been flowering for weeks already.
I'm going to place my order.
And in the warmth of this potting shed, I can smell that lovely kind of herby essence of that gorgeous foliage on there as well. And the colour ranges now are amazing, because Hot Lips was the one that everybody remembers, when it first came out, the sort of the red and white one, and now we've, and this is just a few of the Lips collection. There's a whole, range of colours of these now. Absolutely magnificent plants. These are hardy. These will have a little snowflake symbol when you order these, so you know you've got that lifetime guarantee. So if you follow the cultural instructions and for whatever reason these fail, we'll replace them for you in the future. All you've got to do is pay the P&P again.
They don't get massive either, do they? We're only talking maybe not even a metre in height, maybe about a metre.
Up to about a metre.
Yeah.
But I've actually seen people clip these because after 2 or 3 years, they almost become like a sort of almost like a woody perennial kind of thing. And then you can clip them into almost a kind of a loose kind of hedge if you want to, but you don't have to do that. You can just leave them to be loose and do their thing. And what I tend to do at the end of the season with these, I don't cut them right back before the winter. I just leave them through the winter, and then in the spring, once I can see all the top growth that has sort of died back, look down the stem to see some nice fresh green shoots, trim down to there, and they'll come back again year after year after year. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to go for those. I hope that you are as well. There is only one order that has been placed this morning that doesn't contain this. Everybody else has put this into their basket. A lot of people have been multi-ordering here as well, just like I am going to do. I'll be ordering definitely 3 packs. Maybe 4, who knows? I'm definitely going to be adding that into my basket as well. It's a fantastic deal. It's £4.97 for all 3 of those. If you want to create a salvia hedge, just like I'm going to do, then multi-order on those. 560668 is the item number. Next, moving on to the gerbera.
Gerberas, yeah. I'm going to put pink back in the front again.
Okay, bring her back out. Yes, why not? Maggie.
Don't put pink in the corner.
No, nobody puts pink in the corner.
Nobody puts pink in the corner. These are stunning. I mean, 3 fabulous colours there as well. And a gerbera that's hardy. I mean, that's insane, isn't it? I mean, 20 years ago, who ever heard of a hardy gerbera? Up to 50 flowers per plant once they become established. Some of the flowers can be 5 centimetres across, so really huge flowers. Some have got a solid colour, the blood orange colour we've got here, or the blancmange pink, as I've called it, or the sort of the multicoloured one down at the front. Really stunning plants, dandelion kind of type leaves.
Hang on a minute. Oh, it is part of the picture. I was just like, hang on a minute, that's the flower and it looks like part of the picture, but it is. I was getting confused, sorry. But they do, oh, I mean, look at that.
Aren't they
colour.
lovely?
It's beautiful.
Beautiful, aren't they? Stunning. But hardy, what we say, Bex, -7?
We say to about -7 on the gerberas. I would definitely give them some extra winter protection. I did lose one of mine last year because I had it in a tiny pot and I just didn't put enough.
Yeah,
because it was in a
the whole
smaller
thing
pot.
froze, didn't it?
Yeah, so I didn't. Basically, I lost one for that reason. But yeah, good layer of structure over the top. If you've got it in smaller pots, move the smaller pots. If you've got it in larger pots, then it should be fine with a good layer of mulch over the top. Yeah. That's it, the end.
Move on.
Tayberries.
Tayberry.
Tayberries are what we're coming to next. Grow your own is such a fantastic thing to put into your gardens, and the thing is you don't need a massive space in order to grow your own. There are so many things you can do. I've got a standard, normal, family garden. There's nothing particularly, unique or different about it, but I've got loads of different grow your owns going on in there. I can even fit some in there to grow up against the wall of the house, which I think would be the perfect spot for the Tayberry. South facing, bright, sunny, all you need is a bit of trellis up against the wall to tie the Tayberry into, and it would be the perfect spot. It's about trying to make use of all of those spaces you've got in your garden, and I think there's no excuse. You can get a grow your own in there.
You can, and you know what, if there was like a soft fruit Olympics, Tayberries would win gold.
Would they?
All the time.
I love a
because
Tayberry.
they really are so sweet, huge, really juicy fruit that are absolutely gorgeous. I've got a customer in a place called Oxborough, and her Tayberries have started fruiting for the first time this year, and she was going to pick them and enjoy them, but the dog got there first. And their dog actually's got a taste for Tayberries.
Oh dear.
Tayberries are a cross between a blackberry and a raspberry, so you're getting the best of both worlds. You're getting large fruit, as you can see here, but super sweet. And all you need to do with these is the stem that these come with, the stems on these plants this year, that when you get these home, tie them to the right. These will be your fruiting canes for 2025. And then next year, when new shoots come from the base, tie those to the left, because they will be your fruit for 2026. And just do that from year to year. That way you'll know which is your current wood for fruiting the current year and which will be your wood for fruiting the following year.
So they fruit on last year's growth. That's the important thing to know, so you don't prune the wrong one. This is why Adam suggests you train them to go in 2 opposite directions.
And horizontally.
And as much horizontally as you can. You always know which one you're fruiting and which one you're pruning from, basically. So 310062 is the item number. You can go for, it is a triple deal, isn't it? You can go for 1 for $9.99, but if you put 3 in your basket and enter the code YGTV3124, you'll get 3 for $19.99. Basically, 2 of them is $19.98. Put 3 in your basket, it's a penny more to get a third one, so it's a great deal on that one. Most important thing is to enter your code, though, so you get that price, that amazing deal, and you get your free gift included in there as well, which is the Nautia Macedonica Melton Pastels, a fantastic plant. Right, quick reminder of a couple of items, and then we're going to finish our day on the buy one get one free table. So Euphorbia minus merlot is one that we need to remind you of. It is a triple pack. It's 3 9cm pots. It's a buy one get 2 free, because you'll get all 3 of these for £9.99. A fantastic plant, great foliage, beautiful colour, tough, resilient, long-lasting perennial. Ticked a lot of boxes with that little sentence there. Next is the Bowls Mauve, which is a plant that will flower for you for so many months of the year. I mean, a really good flower display for a good 9 months of the year, but I had flowers on mine every month. Only 1 or 2 flowers in the colder months, but there were flowers. And of course, even in those colder months, you're left with that beautiful evergreen foliage as well. 560069 for your Bowls Mauve. Another buy one, get 2 free, essentially, is what we've got there for you. And a half price deal we've got on our ground cover rose collection. You don't want a tower pot for them. You do want a tower pot, but not for these. It is a half-price deal here. You will get all 3 of them included. You get a beautiful pink, a red, and a white in there as well. They will grow to about, what do we say, about 70 centimetres high, but they will ground cover, so they'll grow even further widthways as well. So they'll grow to about 90 centimetres widthwise. So this is why we love these as the ground covers. Amazing price. You've got ahead of us and you found this on the website before we were even able to show it. And do remember that if you are in our club, you will get an extra 10% discount on everything that you buy in the potting shed. That includes the compost, the straw, the plants, the pots, any of those deals that we've got, you can get that extra 10% discount. So do consider it. It costs just £5 to join the club, and you will then, that lasts you for 12 months, and you will get 10% discount every time you place an order. Red Rumble Poppy, 561213 is the item number. 3 9-centimetre pots, half-price deal at £14.99. Disease resistant, absolutely gorgeous. 561213 is the item number. Finishing off the show today. Thank you very much for your company. We've got 6 minutes here. We've got a minute per item. Buy one, get one free. Mix and match. Choose whichever 2 you want. Use the code. One of them will be free. Let's start off with Painted Lady.
Yeah, three stunning ferns here as well. And this one, has so many different colours. Sometimes there's sort of orangey, sometimes there's reds. This one is actually a good one for shade. Gets to about 40 centimetres tall. It has got the RHS's Award of Garden Merit, which means, it's met a hell of a lot of brilliant criteria to get that award from the RHS. It's a stunning fern. It's an unusual fern. This one is an evergreen. I mean, it'll look fantastic for a long period of time, but late in the autumn those leaves will start to die back. But then next spring it will send up those new leaves, or croziers as they're called on ferns, and just look amazing. This is shade loving, but if you want one that will take shade or sun and is a bit drought tolerant, this one is absolutely fantastic. This is the hairy lip fern, unusual name, but hairy lip fern. I love the shape of it. I mean, I'm just going to just tilt it forward for you just a little bit as well, because look at that. Doesn't that look amazing when you look into the top of that plant?
Love it.
Just that, look at that. Oh, it did that earlier as well. There you go. That, I mean, it's such perfectly spread out, isn't it? It's kind of almost symmetrical.
It is a perfect
the way it's actually
shade.
formed
Love
there
it.
as well. So this is drought tolerant. This will grow in quite poor soils as well, but it will take sun or shade. And this one gets to about 50 centimetres tall, so slightly taller than the Painted Lady fern. But if you want something that is really dramatic, look at the new leaves on this copper shield fern. You can understand why they called it that, because the new leaves have got that coppery colour, haven't they? Which is really, really quite dramatic. And out of all the 3 of our ferns, this one gets to about 90 centimetres tall. Also quite a shade-loving one. And also, just like the Painted Lady fern, it has the Award of Garden Merit from the RHS. So you know you're buying an absolute brilliant fern. And this one is what's called semi-evergreen. So it will keep some leaf through the winter, but won't look fantastic as it does actually in the summer. But you just trim away those sort of scraggy kind of leaves in the spring before the new croziers come up, and then the new leaves will come through, or croziers as they're called, and just give you this dramatic display. And this is what the new leaves look like, hence the the copper in the name, those copper coloured leaves that just look so incredible. And these are all ferns that will come back year after year after year, really hardy and just fantastic, different and unusual.
Yeah, go for 2 the same, go for a mixture. It's entirely up to you. That's why we've put this one together, so you've got options. All 3 of those ferns work beautifully together. The Painted Lady may be at the front, the hairy lip fern is sort of near the Painted Lady, and then the copper shield towards the back, because it just gets that little bit taller. In the buy one, get one free, we've also got the Rudbeckia. We've talked a lot about Rudbeckia already, being that wonderful transitional plant, taking us through from now, which is where it's starting to flower and bud, but right the way through to the end of summer and even into early autumn as well. A beautiful bright yellow colour.
Bright yellow. This is called the cone flower because there's that black cone in the middle. It originates from North America, so you know it's really, really tough. It'll come back year after year after year, gradually forming slightly bigger clumps. A long, long flowering season. Super happy, bright yellow flowers with that dark centre, loved by pollinating insects and bees and butterflies and so on. I never used to like yellow flowers until I discovered Rudbeckia goldsturm, and then I kind of fell in love with this plant. I've got a huge clump in my garden, just starting to flower now. and it's going to give me joy for weeks.
Amazing. And the final one, or I'll say final, we've also got the foxgloves available if you want to add that one in. It's a mix and match. But the final one we've got on the table is our delphinium, the magic fountain, part of the buy one get one free. So all you need to do, excuse me, is choose which plants you want. If you want all 6, put all 6 into your basket, enter the code YGTV3124. 3 of them will be free. You could even add 12 in, so 1 of each times 2, and half of them will be free basically, as long as you use that code YGTV3124. If you're going for the delphiniums, do think about getting yourself some strolch, because the slugs and snails like that lovely new growth on a delphinium. Who was that? Somebody's ordered what? They've had 10 ferns and 3 lots of the salvia. Great order, absolutely fantastic. That's what we're here for. Make the most of the deals that we have got here, because we've got some stonking ones. Thank you, Ryan, in the office, for putting that show together. Ryan. He's putting some great deals together for us, so thank you so much. Right, Adam, you're back next week, aren't you?
I am, yeah. I can't.
On
Is it
Thursday?
Thursday, yes, Thursday.
So Adam's going to be back in the shed next week with Sean Ryan. I'm not going to be here. I'm having a little break with the kids. But I will be here on Sunday with Sean. If you want to watch Sean today, by the way, he is on QVC Style later on. I'm pretty sure it's the 5 o'clock show, all different deals and things. So if you want to watch him, have a little tune in on QVC. But do come back and join us again on Sunday. Sean and I will be here from 10 o'clock until 2 o'clock. It's been lovely having you company. Thank you very much. Check out your baskets, and we will see you very, very soon. Enjoy your gardens for the next few days. Thanks so much, Adam.
Cheers, Bex.
See you all
Thank you.
soon. Bye.